when you're supposed to be fucking live. Like we're supposed to. Oh shit, we're live.
We are now.
We're live now. As I'm just berating the host, you son of a bitch, and it turns out that we actually have this very toxic chemistry where I just belittle you backstage and put you in your
Fuck it.
place.
I'll write it and then we'll do it live.
He's like, this is my show, Mike. What the fuck? Fuck you, Travis.
No, but that is something I did want to mention. This is like one of the chances that people really get a chance to like come inside me. You know what I mean?
I love coming inside you personally.
It's like, when was the last time you had that chance to come inside Travis DuFour? Like, this is
It's
your
been a while.
Get in there. Get in there.
It's been a while, but it was a very good experience. I remember.
Welcome everybody to the pre-show. I wanted to definitely say that on the air for sure. Come inside me. So
you had some stuff to talk about that's non-wrestling. I actually have some wrestling stuff I wanted to chat about too, so hopefully we have time to fit both in. But you go first.
Yeah, we got about an 8-minute pre-show. I think we can fit in a good bit of shit right now. We can fit in a lot whenever you're coming inside Travis DuFour.
Oh yeah. If it fits, it ships.
So last night, Mike, no, not last night, the night before, I did stand-up comedy in Frederick, Maryland.
How'd that go?
I did it at a little ditty called The Cellar Door. Very, very fun to go there. They actually have national touring people that show up at that joint.
That's cool. Was that your first time there?
My second. I went there over the summer, about midsummer, and it was, man, very, very intimidating. Because like I told you, there's some heavy hitters there. There's people who are fucking traveling the country, and the guy who runs it has been in comedy for 10 years. So he knows people. He's a great comedian himself. So my first time going there, I decided, I was like, damn, this isn't a place where I can just come and wing it. I need to come here ready, prepared, stuff written, some kind of a set. So that's what I did.
You gotta have a plan, I guess. So
yeah.
You said you winged it that night though?
No. I didn't even wing it my first night I went there, I am pretty professional whenever it comes to comedy. I've got notepads, I've got notes in my phone. I've been writing, I've wung it a couple times.
That's what I want to know. How did the people react?
Good. I'd say. Yeah. I have a bit about, it's an active shooter bit. And it did pretty good.
Did it kill?
A lot of people have made that same joke to me about my active shooter bit. But I'm also realizing, I can't rely on something that is so, I can't do that at an all ages event. I can't really take that to many places.
You could, sure you could. You could say that's for the kids. That's a good one for the kids.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been working on this really good active shooter joke. It kills.
I'm trying to only do the active shooter bits at high schools. So
Jesus. That's messed up.
No, but I sometimes I tell my mom about my journey in comedy, where I'm doing comedy at, and I'll run in a joke by her, just to kind of sense it, get a feel, and she hasn't liked any of my jokes.
So, does your mom support your comedy?
Well, she's just very conservative. She's like, you're gonna say that in front of like people? I'm like, yeah.
Did she ever get embarrassed, like in any joke that was about her or the family? And she's like, oh, maybe you shouldn't say that.
I did. One of my first jokes that I was kind of constructing had something to do with growing up poor and how, like multiple Halloweens in a row, we had to dress like hobos because we didn't have any money. So it's just kind of wear old clothes. She's like, throw some dirt on your face and we'll start hitting up these houses. And, that's just the joke. That's just what the joke is about. And I told her about it and she was like, well, people are going to think I'm a terrible mother. I was like, I'm not telling you about my comedy for a while, because if you're gonna make me feel bad about it, I'm not. That
Fuck you for making me feel bad, Mom. How dare you?
So
That's cool.
But I
You,
do plan on doing an episodes, not soon, but maybe next season we'll do an episode about my comedy venture, because I have some opportunities that are on the horizon. All I have to do is keep hitting these open mics, keep getting better, and I'm not going to show up to like a feature spot unprepared. But I'm just telling you right now, Mike, there are opportunities on the horizon. I just got to work.
You got that Netflix special in the works? It's in the pipeline.
That is
Would that
what I
be a
was talking
goal?
about.
In all honesty, though, would that be that's like the top goal right now for a comedian, I guess, is a Netflix special?
I would say so. I see a
One
lot
of
of them,
them?
because Netflix actually has a series that they have come out where it is, a lot of comedians I look up to are doing that.
Yeah. It'll be fun also if we could interview a comedian as well at some point.
We are next week. We have Tate Griffin on the show next week.
Very nice, very nice.
So
well, we got 2 minutes, probably less than. So I do want to pick your brain real quick about wrestling, as we tend to do here on the show.
Okay, last night, man, MJF segment, that was so good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think MJF was on the show. I don't know what's going on. And I don't know what's going on with AEW in general. They're down in viewership, which, you could, I guess, blame on sports. But yeah, no, I think it's more than that. I think it's more than just sports. To me, they don't have a compelling TV product right now.
And do you think it's because there's no consistency?
There's no consistency. It's kind of all over the place. I don't know. This backstage brawl thing is still like lingering over everything. The elite is still gone, but they're being teased at returning soon. And
I like that.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, but then you got CM Punk on the other side, who a lot of fans want him gone. A lot of fans want him to stay. I'm in the boat of wanting him to stay personally, but after last night's episode of Dynamite, I do not see that happening at all. I had a little bit of hope, like a smidgen of hope. But after watching Dynamite and seeing Colt Cabana come out, and get that like hero entrance, and him feeling so proud to be back after all this time, after the big bad CM Punk buried Colt Cabana, as the dirt sheets would want you to believe.
Colt Cabana is just so vanilla, so boring.
And I'm not saying he's not a good wrestler. I'm sure he brings a lot to the table. I'm not discrediting him, but like you said, he bores the shit out of me. So
I mean, Christ,
I don't
on
know.
a cracker.
Hey, but Colt Cabana showing up, is that not the biggest slap in the face to CM Punk? Like, hey, CM Punk, just in case you thought there was any hope of you coming back, fuck you. That's like the knife in the abdomen and twisted in it, so the wound doesn't seal.
But that's the thing. Punk even said it in that scrum. He doesn't give a shit about Colt Cabana, so maybe not.
That's true. Yeah, maybe not. But Travis, you know what time it is. These pre-shows are never long enough. But it's time for the real show, the Travis DuFour Show.
Oh, shit. Oh, man, we have such a fucking great episode today, too.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. Welcome in, one and all. It is Thursday, and you know what that means. Episode 7, Return of the Jedi. The final
I am a Jedi.
nail in the coffin. I mean, we are never, ever, 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 ever reviewing Star Wars again. So if you like this, if you like this, then here's our kiss goodbye.
It can't be the kiss goodbye. You said there would be more in future seasons.
I'm
the
never
prequels.
Never
you got to watch the damn
Wars
prequels,
again.
Man. That's bullshit.
Not doing it.
That's not what I was sold.
No, No, real quick. I know that he just spoke, but I love our intro. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my co-host, please welcome to the show, Mike Yatsko.
Dig it, daddy.
Hey, and you know what? At least you got a fucking dig it, daddy, on a Star Wars episode. That's the last time you're getting
Oh,
a
yeah,
dig it,
man.
daddy, on a Star Wars episode.
Well, not if I have anything to say about it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So this is your third installment.
Hmm?
Your third installment, the third movie in the original franchise. Just kind of give me the high level view of like what you're thinking about Star Wars thus far.
Nah, man, I am done. I am done.
I am done.
I'm no longer interested.
This movie lost you.
Yeah, 1 and 2, I have a lot of respect for. I like what they did. Number 3 was it surprised me. It didn't keep my attention.
And why do you think that was overall?
Well, I don't know. I feel like Han Solo was just it was a different Han Solo we got. Luke Skywalker all day. He was kick-ass in this movie, and I really enjoyed him. But, like we've said in the previous episodes, my favorite character that they made for me was Han Solo, and he just didn't really do it for me in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So you finally found out the big thing, though, that because there was, like a hinted love triangle going on. And now the big reveal that that's not possible because, Luke and Leia are siblings.
And I was going pretty all in on them fucking.
You were pretty sure this third movie was them consummating the relationship. But you can't do that when you're brother and sister. It's frowned upon.
Oh, well, no, for sure. If the Star Wars universe was in West Virginia, it would have totally been accepted. But
I was going to go for a West Virginia joke, but I just felt like, nah, I'll let you take it if you wanted to.
Too easy.
It was too easy. I also didn't know if it would be too far because I was just like, well, I don't really want to make fun of where you live. I don't actually believe.
Oh, I have no West Virginia pride. Fuck this place.
Oh, fuck this place.
I can't wait to leave.
What? You're not proud of being a West Virginian? Is that what they call them?
Truth be told, Mike, I'll be honest with you. I'm in the eastern panhandle of West Virginia, which is the melting pot of kind of Baltimore and Washington, D.C. A lot of people who work in Baltimore and D.C. live here, and they live here because it's cheaper and they commute, So we don't have really any true West Virginians here.
Interesting. A lot of commuters.
Which is great because I can't stand West Virginians. So this is good.
And you don't have like the typical like accent that I would associate with West Virginia.
There is a part, and now for some of the people who know me, right here is something for you. If you listen to the Travis DuFour show to kind of learn a little bit more about me. I grew up in Hedgesville, West Virginia, which there's a lot of mountains in Hedgesville, and there's some people who live in the mountains, and you'll come across them, and they'll kind of talk with that accent. They'll be like, "Look at my truck, and look how big my fucking tires are," and it's like I can't stand them. Now, real quick, Mike, we have this fucking thing where the truckee boys like to meet up in the McDonald's parking lot. And there will be like 8 trucks. They'll all be sitting in the bed of it, chit-chatting and stuff, hollering, hooting, hollering, Does that happen in Ohio?
I somewhat maybe.
Okay. So you got some rednecks that hang out in the Walmart parking lot and stuff like that?
Oh, dude, I think there's rednecks everywhere, but certain parts of Ohio is definitely synonymous with people, especially the Walmart, Taco Bell. I don't know if it's still a big one, but Taco Bell used to be a huge one. I mean, you get all those crazy people going out there into the parking lot and hanging out for hours. So, yeah, we got our fair share of crazies.
Alone, man.
No, it's KFC where you're at.
Yeah,
that's funny.
No, but yeah, it's funny that you say that. You kind of can't hear any resemblance of like a West Virginia kind of accent, because we have an accent. Truth be told, Mike, I've been told that I don't have an accent of anywhere.
I could see that. I mean, I don't hear anything specific. Maybe when you say like a few words, but that's it.
So good
So yeah,
for radio?
yeah, I'd say so.
Pretty
For any
universal.
for any region too in the U.S. You can relate to anybody.
Man, I could take this voice anywhere.
You're an everyman.
Well, so yeah, I got that off my chest. We'll probably never talk about West Virginia again on this podcast.
Hey, but it was a good moment. We should probably clip it. So West Virginia has a special TikTok
Yeah.
on the internet dedicated just to it. We should probably get back on track though. for
No, can
Return
we
of the
just do
Jedi.
one more? Can we do one more then?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Let's give it to West Virginia one more time. Okay, Mike.
They don't
go
get enough
ahead.
credit.
No, because we all know, because you said it on last season that you were a singer. So can we go ahead and hear, Mountain Mama, that Country Roads? Go ahead, Mike. Give it your best shot.
I'll pass. I don't even know whatever the song you just mentioned is. So
Yeah, you're an Ohioan. So what is it?
is
if
that
you're
like
from
your
Ohio,
state
what is that called?
anthem? What?
Huh?
Ohio is what
If
called?
you're from Ohio, what are you called?
You're called an Ohioan.
Okay, so I was right. Ohioan. That doesn't sound right, but I guess that's right.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, well, but what else would we be called though if it wasn't Ohioan?
That's a good point. Hey, real quick, Ohio is for Lovers. The band
That is a
Hawthorne
thing.
Heights. Is that a big band in Ohio?
I'm not familiar with it, but Ohio for Lovers, that's an interesting thing you mentioned because Glenn actually labeled one of his short films, Ohio is for Lovers. Like that was his like working title for a while. So I guess he must have got that from the band. But no, I don't. I'm not familiar with the band actually.
Do you
Any
carry a
good?
lot of Ohio pride?
To an extent I do. I mean, I'm not crazy with it. I don't have an Ohio flag out in my front yard or anything, but proud to be here. I like Ohio. I've moved out of Ohio so much now. I've lived in Los Angeles, never lived in New York City, but traveled there a lot. Lived in Chicago and traveled a bunch of other places. And through all that traveling, I found that Ohio is definitely my home. Like, there was different times in my life where I thought, oh, maybe LA is for me. Maybe this place is for me. But no, I like Ohio. It's kind of slower paced here and smaller town feel, not as crazy. Dude, Chicago drivers are like, they have a death wish. They want to kill each other essentially. So
I've only been to
it's much
Chicago.
calmer here.
Am I saying that right? Chicago?
Chicago, yeah, it's Chicago.
Oh, it's
It's Chicago. You gotta say it like Chicago. No,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This.
Yeah, so
I'm
I've
making this
been
up. I'm making this up entirely. You
Son
say
of a
however
bitch.
you damn well please. I don't give a shit.
No, I have. I've been to Chicago once, and it was a great
Chi-town?
time. I thought it was a beautiful city. Now the buildings, the alleyways, I've been to New York City before, and in Chicago, the alleyways were like bigger. And I felt
Yeah.
like in New York City, that is the dangerous city. That is where you have to be careful. I didn't really hear too much about Chicago, which is surprising for some to hear that, because it is, like any other city, a dangerous city,
Yeah, it's actually very surprising to hear your perspective on Chicago because it's considered one of the more dangerous cities in the United States. So, yeah, they have just a ton of crime in the city and lots of murders, and yeah, it's not good.
Well, I mean,
I never felt too unsafe when I lived in Chicago, but there were definitely a few instances which I won't get into on this podcast because we'd be going way off topic. But there's a couple instances where I did feel really unsafe in Chicago, and that definitely makes me like being here a lot more. I feel much more secure being where I am here in Ohio.
Go ahead and make a mental note of those times that you felt really scared, because we'll do an episode on it. I like talking about stuff like that.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
But shit, I don't even remember what I was about to say about Chicago. It's a beautiful city, and I love being there. It was
a beautiful city. Yeah, it is beautiful. I'll give it that. It's beautiful. It's nice being by the lake, and got Navy Pier there, and lots to do in Chicago.
Navy Pier.
So,
yeah,
I enjoyed my time living there for however long it was, 6 years. But time to move on.
it is time to come on home to Ohio, which is where Mike is now. He's home.
Yeah.
But
Thank the Lord. But yeah,
talking
man.
about
Return
home.
of the Jedi. We're going. Oh,
Yeah,
you're going back to
return.
home now.
Yeah, talking
I
about
was about to say.
returning. Yeah.
Let's talk about returning to Return of the Jedi. And so, real quick, you're not bullshitting me in any way, shape, or form. This movie lost you a little bit.
I definitely, if I was to rate this movie and then the other two, put them in order, this was my least favorite. Yes.
Least favorite. And is that by far or?
Well,
Let's
let's kind of jump around then. Let's jump around. Right here's one of the main reasons why I didn't like this film. Darth Vader fucking turns his back on the dark side. I was like, fuck that.
Yeah, yeah, but that's the typical, good versus evil story. Good always triumphs. You know this
But
by
what
now.
about evil?
Well,
Like-
evil dies, unfortunately. Evil never actually wins. Name a time when evil has won.
Oh shit. I'd have to
In
sit here
anything.
and think for a second. The devil, he kind of turned his back on Jesus, and he was, one of the head angels, man, and he has his own kingdom now. So
I suppose he does, yeah. Well, you got me there. Okay. Satan it is.
Satan it is. No, but that was disappointing, man. I thought Darth Vader was the ultimate bad guy.
So you thought Darth Vader should have stayed true to his evil dark side roots.
Yeah, turning his back on the Emperor and killing the fuck out of him. He ended up throwing I got a lot of notes for the show today. He ended up throwing him down that deal. What was it? I have it written down here somewhere. It's some kind of reactor shaft.
Yeah.
So,
I suppose we should start at the beginning, though.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
For it to
so that's why I didn't like it.
I gotcha. So, does that mean you won't watch any more Star Wars movies, or where are you going from here?
Well, we're definitely on the cool off. Next season, we'll see. Obviously,
you gotta do the prequels. I could give two shits if you said I don't want to watch the sequels, because I'd be like, you know what, they kind of suck. But the prequels are worth watching. The prequels give backstory to the three movies you just watched.
Okay. I mean, you know what, Mike? I really respect your opinion too. But here's where I will leave the whole conversation at. If the people who listen to this show really want me to, I will suffer through some more Star Wars then.
Suffer. Oh, so now it's suffering through Star Wars. You know what?
That is an intense word. I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah, I'm not sure that is either. But let's see. Okay, so the beginning of Return of the Jedi, which at one point was rumored to be called Revenge of the Jedi, but they didn't like.
What do you
Revenge.
prefer?
Revenge of the Jedi sounds cooler, but I guess Revenge has that like negative, almost dark side, sound to it. So Revenge wasn't what they thought the Jedi should be after. That's why it's Return of the Jedi. But the very beginning, you see a Death Star that is nearly finished. They're finally rebuilding. They're finally finished almost rebuilding this bad boy. Hopefully they fix the main problem from the first movie, where somebody was able to fire a bullet down the shaft and explode the entire thing into smithereens. But time will tell. And so anyway, what was your thoughts about the beginning of this movie opening up? And you come into it excited. You enjoyed the first two movies, so you're ready to go. Actually, what were your expectations for this movie? Just kind of summarize before you watched it. What did you expect?
No, man, this is like that classic story of, like it's a trilogy. This has to end with a bang. So I was way more excited than the first and second one. I actually watched this movie twice. just because I didn't like it, I watched it again just to see if I still didn't like it, then I still didn't like it. But no, and opening up with Darth Vader, great fucking call. I believe the first movie started with Darth Vader. You start the ending of your trilogy with arguably one of the best characters, Darth Vader. He's fucking doing his deal, and he's coming together with the Emperor, and they're trying to figure things out. They're making the Death Star again. They're fucking putting their efforts in it. But Darth is straight up. He's straight up with the Emperor, and he's like, I don't fucking think it's gonna be ready in time. And the Emperor's like, yeah, double your efforts, bitch.
Yeah, he wasn't having that. So in the beginning here, we actually have Luke Skywalker coming to rescue Han Solo, who was frozen in carbonite in the last movie. And Jabba the Hutt is here at the beginning as well. Tell me about your whole thoughts on this whole, like, these scenes in general to start everything off between Luke and Han and everybody.
And hey, I'm not going to talk shit about the opening. I think that the opening was hitting it on all cylinders. Really enjoyed this scene, this whole compilation of scenes here. Luke, is essentially like, I'm here to take care of business. And Jabba is talking shit to him. And it's one of those deals where Luke is like, hey, you're about to regret this. Do you realize that? And Jabba's just laughing it off. I think he very, very much so underestimates Luke Skywalker. And in my
Luke
notes here,
Luke is also coming into his own at this point. He's looking more and more like a Jedi and more polish.
He's definitely looking to be the guy that we all have expected him to be. He's definitely a badass this whole movie. And shortly after all this happens, Leia saves Han, right?
Yeah.
So that was a cool scene. And Han is like, I can't fucking see.
I can't feel my body. Well, he's been frozen in carbonite for a pretty long period of time. It's a miracle he's even alive.
Yeah. So that makes sense that his eyes have to get readjusted and all that. And he's kind of, he's visibly shaken. And from my reading too, he like really wanted to be killed off in this movie. So maybe that's why he's not fucking.
I think Harrison Ford wanted to be killed off since the very first Star Wars movie. It's always been like a running joke that like every movie he was like, "Can you just kill me this movie?" And
why do you think that is though? Put yourself in that actor's position. You see this.
I don't think he liked Star Wars all that much. I mean, I just don't think he I don't know. I don't think he took it as serious or I don't think he got it as much. I could be wrong, but that was.
Do you not like money? Like the fuck?
I'm sure he enjoyed the money from it, but he probably just thought, well, these movies are kind of stupid, like compared to what else I do, like just like me running around in space with guns and.
Yeah, he's like, I'd rather wear a funny hat and a whip and call me Indiana Jones instead. Like that's way better than this shit.
That's way more realistic.
Fuck you.
I don't know his exact reasons. I just know he's always been like that.
Yeah, well, I don't like his attitude, and that's what ruined the movie for me.
His attitude just killed it. And he's your favorite character, so that him seeing him literally want to die, you're just like, dude, why are you not like fighting for this? Like, what pussy? Why do you want to die so bad?
Yeah, you're breaking kayfabe. Be the badass we all know you to be.
Yeah, for real. Jabba the Hutt though sees. Oh, you said you had something in your notes though about this opening scene. We're talking about Luke and Han.
Yeah. Leia kind of coming in there and saving it and everything. That was a little anticlimactic, don't you think?
Yeah, how it just kind of seemed thrown in.
Yeah, I don't know. It could have been. I don't know what it needed.
Something more interesting or what?
Yeah. But that's, but in turn, Jabba and his thugs are kind of I don't know if they anticipated this to happen, but they're there and they end up capturing everybody.
Yeah, Jabba the Hutt's a pretty intimidating dude. I wouldn't want to be standing in front of that guy.
And this go around, that he's actually got like a full. He doesn't look like he did in the second movie. He looks a lot better.
Yeah, CGI wise, or what was it CGI at this point? I forget.
It was a costume.
No,
He was CGI in the second movie, but this time he's an actual multi-piece costume.
Yeah, it's because they had to do the strangling thing. But yeah, okay, makes sense. But
he's
Jabba the Hutt eventually sees his demise, though.
Does it happen around this time?
That's what I remembered.
No, yeah, you're right. What a build up for Jabba the Hutt, just to, in the pretty much the beginning of the movie, to get fucking killed. But they do
strangled,
have
no
this.
less.
Yeah, strangled. Princess Leia does that, doesn't she?
Oh yeah. With Princess Leia was looking fine in this movie, by the way.
Well, I think that she was getting tired of Jabba choking her, and she was like, "Okay, let's see."
She's like, "I'm doing the choking now."
Yeah, I'm done being your slave.
Let's see how he likes it.
Do you think, if you were to play armchair Booker here, what do you think he was doing to Princess Leia?
Do you want the PG? Do you want the PG version or like the Disney Star Wars version?
There's a disclaimer on this show.
He just was just keeping her prisoner for no reason whatsoever.
And she was feeding him grapes.
Leverage. Yeah. Feeding him great. I'm sure that nothing bad happened whatsoever.
No.
I'm sure that nothing unwanted happened at all. he ate that slug penis on her, didn't he?
Oh Christ. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're having technical difficulties or not. Let me tune into the feed on my Facebook real quick. You are blurry and at times stopping for me.
Interesting. You haven't stopped for me at all, but
oh, good. No, I think we're straight. I will edit this out of the final episode. So let's hop back into it.
Let's hop right back into it. We'll fix it in post.
Fuck it.
Just leave it. Leave it in there. We'll do it live. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't either.
Fuck it. We'll do it live. But yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Jabba may or may not have been doing some, uncool things to Leia. I mean, it's a slave. Why else would you be a slave? Wearing that bikini, no less.
Yeah, that was and you see that though. I've seen Princess Leia in that slave uniform, over the years and everything. Any big like Star Wars fanboy, I think, they all have a thing for Princess Leia. As they should. She's beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. But while this is all going on, Darth Vader and his master, Emperor Palpatine, they are plotting on how they are going to be turning Luke over to the dark side. So we've already seen this in the previous movies, how Luke had this like inner conflict, dark versus the light. And that continues under this movie. So did you at any point think or want Luke Skywalker to join the dark side? Did you have that in your head at all?
No, because, being a 35-year-old man who's seen plenty of storylines play out, I knew that Luke is, the franchise babyface, and he's never going to do that. So, it's nice to see it teased and all that. And I even like that the Emperor told Darth Vader, he's like, don't go after him. He's actually going to come to you. And I thought that was a nice little hook.
And Yoda even at one point tells Luke that he's going to have to face his father, Darth Vader, in order to bring balance to the Force.
Yeah. And now, was that a hard scene for you as a kid to kind of see Yoda pass on right there?
Yeah, it's oh, I didn't like Yoda as much in the original movies, but I liked him more in the prequels. So like Yoda was like I guess I liked Yoda, but he just wasn't up there with my top characters. So that's my way of saying I guess I didn't really care either way about Yoda dying. But
Yeah, anybody who heard The Emperor Strikes Back, they heard my opinion on Yoda. So whenever he died, I was like, finally, shit.
finally. But no, in later movies I would come to like and appreciate Yoda.
I don't know. See, I honestly don't know if I am ever gonna watch another Star Wars after this. I
Jeez,
hate to
what
say that.
what about this movie did this for you? Like what? I don't get it.
Well, you just got to think of like what is my favorite movies, suspense, horror, those probably are my favorite types of movies. This is sci-fi, this is fantasy. I just have never been into that my whole life. I gave it an honest shot. I can honestly say watching the trilogy, I gave it an honest shot, and this is it for me.
No, it's not. That's bullshit. I'll quit right now. I'll walk off the show.
Oh my
You'll just,
god.
you'll just see me throw my headset in an empty chair as I storm out of here.
You know what? How about this? Let me play the PS4 game. You were telling me about these Star Wars games that were really good. Let me see if I can play one of these games.
Battlefront's great. I mean, they're all good, really. Fallen Order is good.
Let me give that a shot, and then maybe that'll draw me in. Once I start learning a little bit more about the characters because of the video game, maybe I will feel intrigued to continue.
You have to watch the prequels. I don't give a shit if you want to or not. You have to watch the prequels. I don't care if after the prequels you say, Mike, I am done with Star Wars. I'll be like, you know what? Fine. I get it. But you have to watch the prequels.
We're talking another 8 hours of watching Star Wars, though. Shit.
Oh yeah, we're talking some time commitment there. A whole new trilogy awaits.
So, do you know this? Do you know this to be fact? Whenever they made this movie, Return of the Jedi, did they not think that they were going to make another Star Wars movie? Because it was almost 20 years till the next one. So, did they think this was the end?
No, George Lucas always had intended to do these prequel movies. In fact, even while he was doing this original trilogy, he had the ideas for these backstories for all these characters. So, no, George always either thought or knew that he wanted to do them, but he just didn't know when.
God, and I thought I was bad at procrastinating. He was like, oh, "No, I'm gonna get to it." 17 years later.
Yeah, I wonder what caused that delay specifically. I don't know if he got caught up in other projects or maybe he just didn't know where to take the scripts exactly. Maybe it was budget. Who knows? I have no idea what would have caused such a delay because Star Wars was a huge franchise at that point. So you'd think that you would capitalize within the first 5 to 10 years after Return of the Jedi, but he didn't.
Yeah, that is very interesting. And being like a competitive person too, it's like you see what Star Trek is doing. Star Trek came out with some big movies in the 90s, and I know that. That's one of the movies I did see, and I really enjoyed it. So it's like you would think, fuck, this intergalactic saga kind of thing, that's mine. I want to come out with another movie because I see this other brand that's kind of picking up steam, doing their thing. I should come out with another Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think it would make perfect business sense. But yeah, he waited a long time.
George Lucas, you're a fucking imbecile.
Then he eventually sold it to fucking Disney. The evil mouse.
God. Could you? I mean, who could resist that deal?
Billions of dollars. I mean, yeah. Well, why not? You could literally just coast the rest of your life if you wanted to.
He could before this, though, couldn't he?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. But now he really just has fuck you money. He just could do. He literally sit and do nothing all day.
I'm surprised he didn't buy Twitter.
Yeah, yeah, really. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm actually excited that Elon bought Twitter.
Are you a Twitter guy? Do you spend some time on Twitter?
I wasn't, because I'm not a fan of just fucking censoring people and decide what the truth is and what's not. I think everyone should have a voice and share their opinion, regardless of what that opinion is. So I am all for Elon Musk taking over Twitter, and that actually is going to catch my interest and make me want to be active on the platform again, because I haven't been in years. You know, I have a Twitter, but I don't use it.
My only gripe with Twitter, being in the wrestling business for 16 years, I like to follow some of the pro wrestling on there. I don't care about like major stars. I like to follow people that I think might be the next big thing. And about once a week, maybe more, I see wrestlers like having mental breakdowns on Twitter. And
yeah, well, I mean, that's everyone. I mean, it's kind of the trendy thing to do, is you air your dirty laundry on social media, which is actually a big pet peeve of mine. I really hate doing that. Like, I don't like to share anything but like positive stuff on social media. I don't really like to put my shit out there for anyone to judge or to see. Like, there's certain things, in my opinion, that you should not put online.
yeah. You're asking for the pity party kind of thing. Yeah, I'm not a fan
Oh
of that.
yeah, it's just like, hey guys, I'm having a rough night. Like, and it's okay if you've literally never. I guess there. I guess there are circumstances where if you've never done this and you're reaching out for help, that's one thing. But we all know the people who abuse it, and it's a pattern. Like, every Friday night, well, guys, I'm feeling, doing this, had another fight with this person, whatever. You always know it's a pattern when you see it. So
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's hop back on the Star Wars train.
but I wanted to talk about this because it happened close to the beginning as well. Luke at some point learns that Leia is actually his sister. And so in the other two movies, they had teased this love triangle situation. I believe Luke and Leia even shared a kiss at one point.
It wasn't
That was
like a
before.
passionate kiss, though. It was just a peck.
Okay, well, but still, it happened. Okay, but it wasn't
Either
passionate. Okay, fine. Either way.
Yeah.
So you kind of maybe lust for this person or attracted to this person in some way. You're maybe falling for them, whatever the case may be. And put yourself in Luke Skywalker's shoes. You're now told that, hey, Leia is your sister. Would you be like, fuck? Like, how would you react to that information? I want you to reenact it right now.
One thing I would have written in the script was for Luke, he finds out, for him to slowly just touch his lips. Like, oh God, you sister kissing motherfucker.
What have I done?
You know what? I'm here for it. I like that twist.
Did you expect it?
All right, I have a slight confession to make.
Oh no! Did you research this in advance?
Well, it's worse. It's worse than that.
Oh, it's worse than that. Jesus. Here we go.
It's worse than that. For the second episode that we did, Empire Strikes Back, I went ahead and watched Return of the Jedi before we did that episode, so I knew that they were brother and sister.
I was talking through that whole episode like you had no clue,
and I loved it. I love that
because I wanted to bring it up so bad.
That's why I went so all in on them fucking, and so
I went all in on them because you knew there was. You did go really heavy on her getting, yeah. You went real heavy on that. I must say.
It's like, I want to see what their babies look like.
They are totally boning.
Like, knowing in my head they're gonna come out deformed, like for sure.
for sure. But that'd be quite a bummer, though, in real life. Finding out that that's in fact your sister.
Oh Christ!
And that apparently she is strong in the Force as well. And you remember Yoda, and I think it was Empire, maybe. I think, yeah, because he's not in. Is Yoda in the first movie? That was your biggest complaint, that he wasn't in Star Wars, yeah. But Yoda at some point in Empire says there is another to Luke, implying there's like another Jedi or Skywalker. He didn't imply what he was saying, but now we find out this is in fact what he was talking about, saying, there is another.
Yeah, if he can't do it, there's still the other bitch. But he doesn't.
I don't think he said there's still the other bitch, but yeah, that's along the lines of what he said. Sure.
If I was the writer, that would have been the line. But
so
yeah,
at that
in my
point, Luke has to know that there's no chance of that hookup anymore.
I think that well, see, and you can kind of even tell that he was just protective of her, even before he knew that. It just seemed like a protective brother feel anyway. And I know that there's a lot of creepy fucking people on the internet who kind of talk about like, oh, think about the incest angle whenever it comes to Star Wars. That's weird. Yeah, that is weird if you're weird. But they don't really, they shared a kiss, but they don't really go heavy on this incest thing.
Well, we don't know what happened or didn't happen off screen. What if Leia was blowing Luke on the Millennium Falcon, but it was off screen? It didn't happen like in the movie itself, but it happened.
I definitely get Jabba the Hutt vibes there because I thought that's what was going on with him and Leia. So,
Jabba the Hutt vibes.
So maybe Luke, maybe that was what was going on. Let's just go.
Apparently, the actual actors did have a romantic fling. The actors who played, who played Luke and Leia, Mark Hamill. And,
oh God,
why am I forgetting her name? That's so bullshit that I'm forgetting her name.
Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
You're the Star Wars guy, man.
So they actually hooked up at one point and had a fling, but that was after after Mark Hamill found out that Carrie Fisher hooked up with Han Solo in real life, Harrison Ford.
Real life, God, she was getting down.
Or she was getting. Oh yeah, she was. So
but dude, look at the other movies. Twilight, those two actors, they got together in real life. There's been a lot of cases like that.
Yeah. You said you had something else in your notes?
Well, real quick, the most famous get-togethers from movies is Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. They did that movie together, and then they got together after that.
Yeah, it's true.
So there's a lot of fucking that goes on in Hollywood. Who can blame them?
Oh, oh yeah, more than we know of, for sure.
Mike, if you were an actor, a successful actor in Hollywood, you can't just get with somebody off Tinder. You probably want to roll the dice on somebody else famous, wouldn't you?
I don't know if I would ever want to be famous, but if you're putting me in this situation where I am famous and this is my situation, I guess I would say, yeah, I'd probably want to date somebody who could relate to me and knew what I was going through. Why would I want to date someone who could be a potential gold digger? I'd want someone I could trust more.
There you go. So you would go for the other actor instead of maybe the makeup person.
Yeah.
Because they're there. They got the schedule too.
Unless the makeup person was extremely hot. Then I might go after the makeup person.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. All right. Star Wars. What's going on?
Star Wars. Well, I went back into the movie that we're reviewing. Luke joins his friends on the mission to destroy the second Death Star's shield generator. And this is ahead of the Rebel fleet's arrival. He regrets this decision when he and Vader sense each other. They have that moment where like they sense each other's presence. The Force is strong with them.
And it's that at that point, Luke decides he's not going to go with them.
Yeah.
Wise decision? Yes or no?
I'd say no.
You think he should have just fucking stayed with the committee?
I think you should. Yeah. You always stay together. You don't split up. You ever see a horror movie? You never split up.
That's so true.
Once you start splitting up and going in different directions, everything's fucked.
But they've realized that their main goal is to penetrate the deflector shield generator.
Oh, you had me at penetrate.
Yeah. So at least they're making a plan. They're not being some jackasses, because we all know that the Emperor, Darth Vader, they're constantly making plans to try to take care of this rebel alliance. So they're thinking of a plan themselves.
Yeah. I hope that they built this Death Star better so it won't blow up or anything like that. That'll be good. We have hope,
They're
right?
looking through the blueprints. They're like, this is the same fucking thing we just had.
They're like, what happened to the second set of blueprints? Sir, we lost him. One of the stormtroopers spilled coffee on him.
Bumbling idiots.
Let's see here. Luke and friends encounter the Imperial scouts on the Endor moon and defeat them in a speeder bike chase. I actually really like this scene a lot. The speeder bikes through the woods, through the forest, because they're trying to report the rebels' presence. So they're trying to take down these scout troopers. Scout troopers are very, very cool looking. I actually have a scout trooper hot toy action figure. Those figures I shoot photos of on my Instagram. So I have a replica of a scout trooper, and he looks pretty badass.
So this scene was very polarizing for you as a child, huh?
Yeah, well, I always thought the scout troopers were just like a very cool style of trooper. Like, there's so many different troopers in Star Wars, now especially, but the scout trooper just has a very unique look that I like. But what did you
now
think
how
of
did
this
Princess
chase through the
Leia-
woods? These bikes that are like, I like Star Wars like vehicles, like these bikes that just float through the air, hover through the air. They go really fast. There's Ewoks involved.
Yeah, I thought it did its purpose for the film. It was, a lot of action, a lot of, fast moving parts here, a lot to kind of keep your eye on. Now, how the fuck did Princess Leia fuck up? Like, how did she get off of her bike?
I don't remember how she fell off, or
Yeah, something like that happened.
I remember this one of the scout troopers ran right into the tree and exploded.
That was nice.
One of the bikes.
Mhm.
I have a replica of one of those bikes too. I like those bikes, the speeder bikes. What do you think of the Ewoks?
Okay, I'm glad that you mentioned the Ewoks. I knew that we were going to talk about
cute
them
little
at
teddy
some-
bears. I knew you were going to bring this up.
Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. Now, are they related to Chewbacca, or is this a completely different species?
A completely different species.
Because that's what my fiance said. She was like, "Oh, these are like little Chewbaccas," and I was like, "I don't think so, but we're gonna have to confirm it with Mike."
That is not true.
They're just furry.
I can see how one
friends.
would draw that. Yeah, I can see how one would draw that conclusion, but no.
I did like how they spun it. So they thought that C-3PO was like their god. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, they worship C-3PO.
And
so he had some power. He had some leverage there.
Yeah, C-3PO. I don't know if he's ever felt like that before, and he was kind of enjoying that, it seemed.
Because as a droid, he's used to serving others. So he's not ever in that situation where people are serving him.
And these droids, something about them is that like they have like 5,000 pre-programmed languages, so he could talk to them and shit, right?
Yeah.
So that's an interesting little hook.
And while this is happening, by the way, right around the time frame of this speeder bike chase, Emperor Palpatine orders his fleet to hide behind the moon because they're actually setting a trap for the coming Alliance attack. So yes. Emperor Palpatine is expecting them.
Yeah, I think that he's already seen what kind of damage the rebels can do. So he's like, I'm actually gonna have to get a couple steps ahead of these fucks, especially if they have Luke Skywalker, which everybody is kind of sensing that he's got some special abilities. He's got the Force.
Yeah.
in full effect.
So before C-3PO was made to be a god, they had Luke turning on a what do you call those things that he was being slow roasted.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what they call that.
It starts with an S, like I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, shrimp
But,
on the bobby. Yeah.
A little shrimp on the bobby, yeah.
Yeah. And what do they say? They say Han Solo. They want to eat Han Solo, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Han Solo looks like some good meat.
This dude's doing some half-assed acting. Go ahead and fucking eat him then.
He's just like, is this where I die yet? Can I die here? Can I die here? Like this, like,
I can see him trying to politic it. Like, guys, let's swerve him. Let's fucking swerve him.
he's like, guys, he's like, this is the scene. He was just like, have an Ewok just come up and stab me right in the fucking throat.
And they're like, no, you're living. He's like, you're making a mistake. I should die here, but whatever. It's your movie. Whatever.
It's your movie. It's gonna be a shitty movie, but it's okay. Either way.
And this is the last time Harrison Ford is in a Star Wars movie, correct?
That is incorrect.
He's in another one?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to keep watching.
He did it like in the year 2000 or whatever, whenever they did that film?
No, not the prequels. It was the sequel movies. He came back for the 2015 movie, was it?
That is very surprising to me. Is
Yeah,
it just a cameo?
No, he's in it.
I kind of want to see that one at least.
And did he request again to be killed off in the new movies? We don't know. He did actually, yeah. he did actually request it. He always, every time, he's like, I'm literally just coming back for you to kill me. I want to die.
I mean, phenomenal. That would have been great storytelling.
But yes, that's why I hope you kind of finish. You got to finish the story at this point.
No thanks.
Even if you don't end up, even if you, oh no thanks. Okay, whatever. Screw you.
One thing I did like is that before Luke did leave the group, though, he did tell Leia at that point that he's her brother.
Yeah.
And Vader's their daddy.
That would be for me, actually, though, that would be like, whoa, my dad is cool. Like my dad is fucking Darth fucking Vader. Hell yeah. Score.
You do. No, that's a good point though, because you do have to have some strong fucking morals, because you've seen what Darth Vader can do. You've seen all this damage. Like, why wouldn't you go ahead and
you
join
basically
him?
could just give up your life, join Darth Vader, and rule the galaxy and live a great life. Your life's going to be great.
And there's countless women who grow up without their dad and they have daddy issues. And Princess Leia does not have any daddy issues.
Yeah, she doesn't seem like she does at all.
You think that? Dad,
it's quite a miracle.
The father figure I always wanted.
Wow, she had a father figure in her life because she was raised by Senator Organa.
Okay. A good stepfather, that goes a long way.
Yeah. So there was definitely that. But Leia ends up befriending a native Ewok named Wicket. Remember that? And that's when C-3PO is no longer, looked at as they're now no longer looked at as a slave or whatever. Same thing for Luke. And then C-3PO ends up being worshipped or as a god or whatever he is.
And is this one of your fond memories being a child? Did you love this whole little scene here?
I'll tell you what I did love the most is what happened next. I like all the scenes where Luke and Vader interact and are trying to get I love how Luke's trying to convince Vader to abandon the dark side, and become a good man like he once was. And he's just trying to convince his father that, that's a possibility. and but Vader instead takes him to the Emperor, uh, even as he
To do
confirms that
some
part of the thing
convincing.
was, basically to plead his case. Yeah,
Yeah. And it kind of that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool because like you're seeing a little bit of depth of Luke Skywalker. It's like, yeah, he does want to stop Darth Vader. He sees him as this evil force and everything. But at the same time, he is like that kid who was like always asked about his dad and he always wanted to know about his dad. And now he knows who his dad is. And it's kind of like, I do want that relationship with my dad. Let me fucking
yeah.
try to see if he'll come over to the light side and we can have a relationship here.
Why could they just have? I wonder if there was any possibility where they could just stay on their separate sides and just still have that father son relationship. Like Vader's just like, you know what? I'm gonna stay bad. You stay good. We could still be friends. That would have been cool to explore that type of
Kind of like
situation.
if I could put it as like a, it's kind of like North Korea and South Korea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One's
I know.
evil as fuck, but they're not trying to kill the other guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, at least. There's always time. But yeah, but
That's all.
Luke fails to convince Vader to join the light side at this point, and no, I love all their interactions. Really, I just love anytime Vader's on the screen. There's just if you just put Vader on on the screen the entire movie, I would have been for it. That's how much of a fan of his character I am. But
I could not agree more.
at this point in the movie, though, with Luke trying to convince his father, did you see the writing on the wall and think that, oh yeah, Vader is going to eventually turn to the light side, or did you think no, that's not going to happen? Where were you at this point?
Well, I knew that one of the big hooks for this movie is the unmasking of Darth Vader and all that. And I know that, Luke Skywalker was involved in that scene of somehow. So I'm waiting for a fight. I know that it's not going to lead to anything. And that's one of the things about Star Wars being so goddamn popular is that, even if you've never watched the series, you've seen that scene and you've seen the pictures and stuff like that. So I knew that there was going to be the battle at some point. Seeing them get there was very satisfying. Like you said, the best parts of this movie is the dynamic of Darth and Luke. That is the fucking best part of this whole movie. I could have done without the all of the rest of it, really, most of it.
So you just didn't like the direction that a lot of it took.
Yeah, I think that the story here is Darth and Luke.
Yeah. Do you feel like this has Halloween Ends vibes where they missed the mark on what the point of the story was?
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, because Halloween Ends is pretty atrocious. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that was god awful. But it's pretty cool because Emperor Palpatine, is it Palpatine?
Palpatine, yep.
Yeah, so he's kind of he wants to finish Luke's training and have him join the dark side, and they kind of leave off of like that kind. It's not a cliffhanger, but the Emperor goes ahead and uses the Death Star to destroy one of the Alliance's ships. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's well, the Emperor's proven that he'll stop at nothing to accomplish whatever he needs to, and the rebels on the ground are also captured before they're actually able to destroy the shield generator. So nothing's really going their way at this point.
Yeah, the kind of fight for power there too. That was interesting, kind of seeing them backed into a corner once again. They're having to figure out new ways to take down the machine, like those big robot machines and everything, and they're figuring it out as they go along. I think Chewbacca shines in these scenes because you see near the end after near the end of the scene at least, Princess Leia ends up getting shot in the arm, and they're kind of wounded, and
Yeah.
They see that machine coming, and it's actually Chewbacca driving the motherfucker.
Did you so you like CM what or I was about to say CM Punk for some reason I have him on the brain. uh did you like what Chewbacca's role was in this movie then? Because you said you didn't really enjoy Chewbacca in the previous movies.
I like Chewbacca a lot more in this movie because they didn't let him do that much.
And that's why you like him, is because he kind of took a back seat.
He was as needed.
As needed. Okay, then. Chewbacca is a fucking staple of the Star Wars franchise, you asshole.
Yeah, he is. Especially on Halloween, you see over the years, you see a lot of people in Chewbacca costumes.
Yeah. That's for sure. He's a cool character to dress up as.
Did you ever dress up as a Star Wars character?
Darth Vader.
Oh, did you?
I dressed up as Darth Vader, yeah. Dude, yeah, I have a Darth Vader fucking mask sitting right over there now it's one of those Hasbro replicas. The only sad part is it doesn't fit my fucking big ass head. So like I'm able to put like the mask halfway down and you just see this part of me sticking out. The only helmet, the only Star Wars helmet that I own that fits me is my Boba Fett. I have a Boba Fett helmet and that one fits.
Yeah, we saw a good bit of Boba Fett in this movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For not a whole lot though. See, the thing about Boba Fett is his character doesn't like do a lot in the Star Wars movies. Like, but I think it's that mystique because he didn't do a lot that made him like cooler and people really gravitated towards him. Because Boba Fett was, became a very popular character despite him not really doing a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the names that you hear, like I had heard the name Boba Fett before watching these.
Yeah. And he just got a cool look to him.
And he died in that conflict earlier in the movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He died in the pit, the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, he got fucking eaten, right?
Yep. And not going to say a spoiler, but at some point in the Star Wars franchise, there is a continuation of Boba Fett's story.
And you like that?
It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad either. I know it's not really selling it to you, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It had a lot of great moments, but it fell short of being awesome.
If I could mention one thing while we're still on the scenes that we're talking about here, I thought it was really funny whenever Han Solo, he kind of what the fuck happened to R2D2? Is some like he got fucking whacked, like zapped or something like that, right?
Yeah, I forget what happened to R2 in this movie.
They were trying to open up the door to get inside, and something happened to R2D2. So Han Solo was like,
electrocuted.
"Oh, yes." And so Han is like, well, we're going to have to figure out a different way in here. So he starts fucking around with stuff. He's like, I think this is what's going to do it. And then another door closes. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, Han's not very good with technology, not very tech savvy.
No, which makes you wonder how he drives the Millennium Falcon so well. But
he really does too. Yeah.
And he decided not to fly it this movie. He wanted the other guy to do it.
Yeah.
Why?
Lando.
Yeah.
The other guy. I love that you didn't even acknowledge his name. You're just like, he had the other guy. Like, Lando's an important character as well.
I didn't even remember his name in the last movie. So it's like, shit.
Well, he's like one of the main ones, but yeah, he doesn't do a lot. He doesn't do enough either, in my opinion.
Maybe he does in the prequels or the sequels.
But Luke surrenders at a certain point to his dark thoughts, and he attacks Palpatine and launches out in an all-out duel with Vader as well. So what are your thoughts when you were seeing Luke go through this conflict? He's standing there with Vader and Palp, and he kind of gives into that hatred a little bit because he wants to attack. He wants to
Yeah,
do that. He wants to give in.
intense sequence. This was the most polarizing moment of the whole film. I felt like it was very well done. Luke Skywalker. What, and was that what he was doing? He was leaning into the hate and all that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. He was filled with rage, and they finally got to him a little bit.
Okay, so
That's not
I
how
mean,
you
and
interpreted the scene.
well, Palpatine, he's like, yeah, well, if you're not going to join us, then you must die, and then the fight starts and all that. The fight ensues.
Yeah, that's
Well, did you just do a
yeah.
quote?
I was just no. I just was doing a fucking Palpatine impression. I love Palpatine.
He is a good character. I really enjoyed him.
Yeah, it's a shame that he had to die.
That was surprising to me. That was very surprising.
Darth Vader picking him up and then tossing him overboard.
That was the part of the movie where I was on the edge of my seat the most. Palpatine is fucking destroying Luke. He's using those like lightning bolts, and he's got Luke where he wants him, and he's gonna kill Luke. And they did a very good way of building that. The camera is cutting between looking at Darth. You're looking at Luke screaming for help, and
and
finally
Darth is clearly
like,
he's conflicted. He doesn't know. He's looking at the whole situation. He doesn't know what to do.
Darth Vader's like, no, and grabs a hold of the motherfucker and just overhand, like that's like an old school wrestling.
He's still shooting he's still shooting lightning out of his hands.
Very cool. I really enjoyed
that.
Then
Vader ends up getting electrocuted as well as a result.
Yeah, he's mortally wounded. He knows that he's moments away from meeting his maker after making that decision.
Yeah, because that suit can only protect him so much. Basically, that suit is what keeps him alive. And in future movies, that'll get explained more. But yeah, that suit keeps everything going. And there's a lot of electronics in that suit. So when he got electrocuted, basically his suit was frying himself inside.
Like the last little bit of human he had left, right?
Yeah. And it was also fucking with his electronics as well, in the sense that it was no longer going to be able to keep him alive.
Very interesting. Great scene here, though. And yeah, so Palpatine's fucking dead, and they finally get their father-son moment.
Yeah, he takes off the helmet, gets to see his father, old man. Were you surprised at how he looked, how Darth Vader looked when he took off the mask, or did you expect something else? Well, actually, I shouldn't ask if you expected something else, because you already admitted that you had seen photos of him without the helmet. So you knew it was going to be an old guy.
I had seen it years ago, years and years ago. I had seen it, but I haven't seen it in a long time. So it was kind of like a fresh thing for me. But dude, like I said in the last review that we did, I felt like the unmasked Darth Vader looked like Zordon from Power Rangers.
Yeah, you've mentioned that before. I think it's a funny comparison.
Especially if you watch Power Rangers the movie, you no longer see Zordon in that like projector screen type thing. You see the physical Zordon laying in like the thing. He's dying, and the Power Rangers need to save him. You see his face there. He looks exactly like Darth Vader.
Yeah. Which, something, by the way, really off topic, something I've always wondered about Zordon is he just laying in that pit the whole time?
No, I don't think so.
Because that's where isn't he like laying in a pit? Isn't he like laying somewhere where, he has that projector beam that, shows or something. But when he doesn't have that, it's just him laying like in a bed or whatever he's laying in. Like, is that where he's laying the whole time that he's doing the projection?
I want to do some research on that, because I really don't know. I'd love to know.
I mean, does he ever leave the bed, or does he just stay there? Is that where he lives? That's what I have lots of questions now.
Lots of questions. Yeah, our guys, tune in next week because we are reviewing the Power Rangers movie.
Jesus.
But let
We
me
totally
see.
should.
So one thing real quick before we get off that, I did like how Darth Vader said he wanted to see Luke with his own eyes. So he asked Luke to take his mask off.
So I can look on you with my own eyes.
That was powerful.
Oh yeah.
You could see
James Earl Jones is the fucking man at delivering these lines.
Yeah. But they let the actor who was playing him, they let him talk after the mask was gone, right?
Oh, that was him. Yeah, that was yeah, did he say that without the mask? No,
He
before
said the
took off
own
mask.
eyes. Yeah, he said the own
Before the
eyes before the mask came, but he had a couple more lines after that.
Yeah, he did speak as the older gentleman, older Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, he said, "You're right. I still had good left in me." He's like, "Tell your sister that I'm her dad too." And then he was like, "I'm not gonna make it."
Tell your
So
sister
goodbye.
you were right. Yeah. Goodbye. I was hang up on myself.
Goodbye. That would have been great.
I thought it would have been cool if they had actually kept Vader alive and then they could actually just join together as father and son.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. I mean, and Luke takes his dead body, with him. But that would have been great though. I'm just gonna hang up on myself. Goodbye.
Luke does, we didn't mention it, but Luke does actually cut off the hand of Darth Vader as well. Kind of a receipt, a little bit of a receipt for what Vader did to him in the last movie.
And that was nice. I didn't know that was going to happen. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Kind of getting surprised as we go along.
But
and so that's not his real hand.
And Vader, now that I'm thinking on it though, that Vader, when his hand was cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't his real hand, right? That was the robotic hand.
I really want to know like what of him is robot and what of him is not.
Well, you'll find that out in the prequels for sure. You'll find out exactly which parts of him are human. But you won't find that out if you don't fucking watch.
So I guess he had like a really intense fight with Obi-Wan Kenobi where Obi-Wan Kenobi fucked him up, but he got away.
Did you see the prequel movies?
No, I'm just if that's the only way I can see that happening.
That is literally exactly how it happened.
Because that's what they said. I think they said it in the last movie that Obi-Wan Kenobi even in the first movie, he's like, a lot has changed since the last time we fought, yada, yada, yada. One can only assume that's why Darth is on life support.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly right. It's because of a battle with Obi-Wan.
Damn, maybe I should see these other movies. I like.
And you want to know what? This battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker, the most badass lightsaber duel in all of Star Wars.
Like, is Kenobi and Darth Vader?
Yeah, well, I said Anakin Skywalker because that's who he is before he becomes Darth Vader. But yeah, most badass lightsaber duel out of all the movies, hands down.
Here's a question for you. Did you rewatch the movie?
Jedi?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I wasn't able to watch it. No, I was up. We're super late last night working.
So the reason why I ask is because you didn't see the Disney Plus version?
Depends on what they've changed. I mean, I probably have seen it unless they've changed something. What did they change?
Well, no, I'm just asking because at the end of the movie, you see Obi-Wan Kenobi's ghost and Yoda's ghost, and then you also see Anakin Skywalker, his ghost. Did they add in Anakin?
It's the young Anakin. Yeah. They definitely went back and edited it. So that edit's been around for even longer than since Disney bought them. George Lucas made that change himself.
Okay, so let's say the original VHS tape that came out in the 80s of this movie, was Anakin Skywalker in that scene?
He was still in the scene, but it was the older actor that you saw saying, let me look on you with my own eyes.
That's what I want to see then. I want to see the original because that threw me through a loop. I saw a young fucking Anakin Skywalker in there.
I don't
And I
know
was
why
like,
they did
"No."
that. Because that makes no sense. Because if you're watching these in this order and you just see that, you're just like, well, who the fuck is this young kid? Like, where did this young kid come out of? Or like, where did he come from? But yeah, that's Anakin Skywalker from the prequel movies. The reason why they did that, what George Lucas his reason was, is because Force ghosts can only exist with light side Force users. So you can't have a Force ghost as a dark side user, meaning that the only version of Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker that could be a Force ghost is the much younger form when he was a Jedi.
Yeah.
That's why they put him in there as a Jedi. So that it technically makes sense, but it also looks weird because you're just like, well, who's this young actor? I don't know.
Well, I like that. So that was my question. So they did edit that. Okay, so that's not a part of the original film that people saw in theaters.
Yeah. When it was originally done, that was that older actor playing a Force Ghost.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So moving on, we kind of see Han is now with Leia, with Princess Leia, and he kind of senses that she has love for Luke, and it seems like he's at that point where he's like, hey, just go be with Luke, okay? I'm a man. I can realize I see love whenever I know what's going on here. You guys,
and
he doesn't
know. He doesn't know that they're siblings at this point.
Nope. Then they have that happy moment, and Princess Leia, she's like, "That's my brother," and that's fucking disgusting.
He's like, but wait, didn't you blow him? She's like, wait, didn't you blow him like a couple months ago when we were on the money and fucking? She's like, shh, no.
Like, don't ever bring that up again.
She's like, we are never, ever talking about that again.
That is the deepest skeleton in our closet from now
on. Deepest
skeleton. So cool scene right there. Han gets his lady. They ride off into the sunset, and there's a big celebration on Endor, and we get the scene of Obi-Wan and all of them at the end.
Yeah. You saw the medals of honor or whatever being given,
right? Yeah.
Or whatever they're called. I just assume they're similar to medals of honor, but Chewbacca was not given one.
Well, like I said a moment ago, he wasn't very featured, so why give him a medal?
He's one of the main stars, damn it. Chewbacca is a Star Wars staple.
Was he on the poster?
I'm sure he was.
Question. It's a solid
I'm absolutely
question.
Sure he was.
I've actually got the poster right here. No, he was not.
Really?
It's a hell of a staple there, Mike. Hell of a staple.
He's not on the poster? Man, I guess they just didn't really give Chewie any. No, he's on.
No. They even have a fucking Ewok on the poster, but no.
There is an Ewok on the fucking poster. Wow. Literally in a prominent spot, literally behind Leia. Yeah, Han looks like a bat. Like Han looks cool in this poster. So does Luke.
Oh, did you look it up?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Yeah.
Jabba's in the poster. Lando.
One of my favorite things about one of my favorite things about the whole Star Wars franchise is their posters. They got some great posters.
Yeah, for sure. They've had some nice ones. The original trilogy, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Less so as you got into the other movies.
Say it again.
Not as much once you got into the later movies. I didn't think the posters were as strong.
So, rate it, man. 1 to 5 stars.
I think we did 1 to 10 stars last time. We're still got to be consistent, or did we not?
I don't remember.
How did we do it? Fuck. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember either. Well, we're just gonna go with no. I think we did 10 stars. So yeah, 1 being shittiest movie you've ever seen. Can't believe you watched it. 10 being best movie ever made. Where do you place it?
I will go ahead and give it a 7 just because of we got our fill of Darth Vader versus Luke. That was a very nice. That was the best part of the whole film. Like you said, it was the moments where I paid attention the most. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, I had trouble paying attention at times because I just thought, I don't know what it was, dude. There was just moments where, like, especially whenever they're in the forest and they were, I kind of felt bad because you were talking about how seeing the vehicles going through it, the motorcycle and all that, and how like that was like a cool scene and all that. That was a scene I couldn't pay attention to the most.
Oh
I
wow.
didn't like, yeah, I just didn't that it just wasn't for me. Um, but what really saves the film for me is the dynamic of Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker. Yoda dying was a big moment as well. I'm not just gonna keep shitting on Yoda. He's not as bad as I'm just kind of having fun here on the show. Seeing him go was, bittersweet. This is a good character for the franchise. He is the guy who teaches the Jedis and everything. So seeing him go was kind of a surprise. I did not see that coming. Yeah, so kind of keeping me in it. There was some things I didn't expect. 7 out of 10.
I think 7 out of 10 is fair and not yeah, I think that's perfectly fair. I think I would also go a 7.
Definitely
Yeah.
not your favorite.
I think I'd go yeah, not my favorite. I like it Strikes Back a lot. But if I had to pick a favorite, am I just picking a favorite out of this trilogy or in Star Wars in general?
Do the trilogy.
Fine. This trilogy, definitely Empire would be my
Agreed.
favorite. And if I had to
Same.
pick a Star Wars movie overall, probably Revenge of the Sith, just for how many iconic like moments there are in it. Not that it's a better made movie. Empire is still the better made movie, but I just Revenge of the Sith just sticks out for me.
Revenge of the Sith. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. No, because it's still not. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't give any Star Wars movie a 10 out of 10.
Oh
I would
shoot.
give Revenge of the Sith 8.5. Maybe 8.5. Yeah. I think that's fair.
Let's learn more about Mike Yatsko. What is the film that is 10 out of 10?
In general, well, it wouldn't be Star Wars. A film that is 10 out of 10. I'm sure there's definitely more than one that I can name, but one that pops in my head first is a movie called Her, and I brought it up to you before.
Yeah, you
Basically,
did.
the baseline plot is the guy falls in love with his computer operating system. That's basically, in a nutshell, what it is. But although it sounds very, I don't know, maybe it sounds stupid the way that's worded, but it's actually very well done. I mean, it's very well done, very well acted, written. Um, so yeah, it's definitely worth watching. Beautiful
Was
music.
The Dark Knight, was that 10 out of 10?
No, Dark Knight is pretty damn good. Dark Knight would probably get 9.5 or 9 to 9.5.
Damn, that's solid.
I don't know. To be perfect, 10 out of 10 is like it's a flawless movie, and that's a hard score to just shout. You know what?
Forrest
One
Gump.
you Forrest Gump might be flawless. Yeah, Goodfellas might be flawless.
Really? I've never seen that one.
Yeah, Goodfellas or Casino. I love those type of like gangster movies, But one of those two might be
Okay.
definitely Goodfellas.
Well, yeah, this may
What about?
be yeah, go ahead.
Well, I had a couple of I think you were trying to wrap it up, but I have actually one more thing to bring up. Is this this movie does in fact end with the Death Star being blown to smithereens.
Mhm.
That was one of the things that we glossed over, and I just think it's crazy funny how they just haven't seemed to fix the issue that's really bringing this whole project down. Like whoever is working on their plans, they need a new guy. Is all I'm saying. There's way too many weaknesses in this fucking giant ass ball. Like you'd think
Well,
this thing would be like Fort Knox, but these rebels are having no problem getting through.
well, it's like you said too. All of the people that they're hiring are kind of people against their will too. Um,
Yeah.
this isn't this isn't a passion project, if you will. This is a kind of put it together kind of thing.
Apparently, yeah, with some duct tape and staples and all kinds of shit because it wasn't up to code. Because yeah, they had no issues destroying it, and I won't spoil it for you in the future if you do end up watching future movies. But there may or may not be another giant ball in the sky in a future movie.
And as far as the Travis DuFour show goes, do you think that we have more movie reviews in us in the future?
I think what we should do with Star Wars is what I wanted to do with it originally. All three movies in a trilogy for one episode, because then that gives a ton of content to talk about for the episode. And then we're not having to stretch one movie out to be so far. We could really just whiz through the highlights of the movies and have a full 2+ hour episode and knock out all three movies at once. So like that's what I wanted to do for the original trilogy, and then that's what I thought we could do with the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, definitely season 3. We may very well be able to do that.
But that would
I
keep it interesting. That way we can kind of like from start to finish one episode discuss the whole thing without having to stop ourselves, because that's one of the things that I didn't like is having to stop myself from talking about things that I knew happened in a future movie.
yeah, that but from, the other side of the fence, I thought that was entertaining. I was like,
So I guess that'd be my
but
only suggestion. What do you think about that?
yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I'm definitely down. So yeah, anybody who listens to the Travis DuFour show, I know that we have a following in India and which is growing.
In the kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys if and the as far as the analytics go, Star Wars hasn't been bad. It's been our most TikTok viewed video as well. So it's kind of like, if the viewership's there, if people want to hear it, if they're interested in hearing my thoughts or, Mike's thoughts on this franchise, absolutely. We'll keep doing it. But
Well, plus if we do multiple movies in one episode, we're also not taking up a lot of episodes to do it either. So that's a pro of doing it that way.
I like that idea. Okay, so you can follow Mike Yatsko's photography and whatnot at Fig Fate on Instagram.
Hell
Definitely suggest everybody check that out. Mike's very talented at photography, so definitely check that out.
Thanks, dude.
Keep your eye on the DuFour brand because there are some big things that we are working on in the future. I'm still very much so doing stand-up comedy. Every week, actually, I'm doing stand-up comedy. I'm getting a little better every time I do it. So there's some big opportunities on the horizon. So if you're a fan of me and my work, maybe there's some great news on the horizon. Not going to overload myself with some false promises or anything like that, but just know that, life is very fun right now. And we really enjoy doing the show. Podcasting is a lot of fun. So
That's great, man. Can't wait to hear what's going on with the comedy stuff. You feeling comfortable up
Mike,
there on stage?
oh yeah. Talking into a microphone in front of a crowd is something I have always loved to do. Now it's constructing jokes and figuring out punchlines and, the meat and potatoes of the whole thing. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely ain't you ain't pulling any teeth to get me on stage. Which and that's something a lot of people have to overcome, that being in front of a crowd and kind of doing that. But that's one of the advantages I have, is that I'm ready for that. I like that.
Does it give you the same rush that you have being in front of a crowd, like at a comedy club, in the same way that you did when you were in front of a wrestling audience?
I'm glad
Or
you
similar?
asked that. It is very similar. It is very similar because in pro wrestling, I always wanted to control your emotions. I wanted to take you on a roller coaster, the highs and the lows. And what I'm learning about myself with comedy is it's the same thing. Highs and lows, roller coaster, take you places where you didn't think you were going to go, surprises, stuff like that. So it's, oh my God, a lot of fun.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. You seem really passionate about it. Don't give up. The consistency is what's going to win out in the end. And at some point, you never know when your big break's going to be. But if you don't stop, you'll get there.
Don't stop believing. Ladies and gentlemen, that is episode 7, the Travis DuFour Show. Make sure to leave a review if you like what we do on Apple Music, anywhere that you listen to the show. Leave a review, give us 5 stars. And next week we have Tate Griffin, who is he just came out with a comic book. He will be talking about the comic book, but also he's got 20 years experience in the professional wrestling business, and he is also a comedian that is all over the tri-state area and beyond. You might have even seen him in North Carolina. This man, he's been doing comedy since I think about 2018. We can find out for sure whenever we hear from Tate Griffin next week. But to listen to this show live, it is every single Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, at the DuFour brand. You can listen and watch on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. And yeah, we will see you next week with Tate Griffin.
Dig it, daddy.
Do you have a stutter?
Sometimes, yeah, actually. No joke. No joke. When I'm talking to people, I will, I'll trip over myself. Royal Emerson, Mr. Coach Clown, I remember. That was from Waterboy.
What a boy. I revisited that movie not too long ago. That's a classic film.
That movie, I would watch that on repeat when I was a kid. I mean, I would watch it and then start it all over again as soon as it was done. That's how fucking funny it was.
That was one of those movies you do that to. I would do that to the first Shrek.
Shrek was a good one, yeah. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I could probably, if I was watching Waterboy right now, could quote every single line of the movie before it happened.
Adam Sandler, he used to be known for making movies like that. Not so much in the last 10 years beyond.
Yeah, really, his movies like lately haven't been great, I'm sad to say. But like even movies like when he made Click, do you remember the movie Click? Like a really emotional, it was funny but also really emotional, like
honestly, that's one of the saddest movies I've ever seen.
I mean, and it tells a perfect story of like how when you get caught up wanting the future and wanting certain end goals and all that, you skip through all the stuff that matters the most. You just
that's one of the only movies that makes me cry.
When I saw it back in the day, I did cry. Like that movie messed me up, but very well done.
What happened? What the fuck do you want, Dad?
Why doesn't Adam Sandler do that anymore? Like, why doesn't he?
All these people who are like major actors and whatnot that are signing deals with Netflix to fucking just regurgitate movie after movie. I think it's fucking up their creative psyche.
Yeah, maybe because I don't know if he used to hit home runs, back to back home runs, and that's just not the case anymore. But yeah, it's kind of the state of Hollywood in general. The quality of movies being made nowadays aren't very good. I mean, you have a lot of comic book movies, and that's about it.
Yeah. Oh,
Some
thank
horror.
God for that. I'm not in that demographic. Hey, so name your streaming services. What do you have?
Uh, all the usual ones. I have Netflix, Apple TV Plus, Disney Plus. That might be. Oh, and we also have the Peacock Network.
Okay.
It's
No
just
Paramount.
$5. I did have Paramount for a short period of time because I think it was because I wanted to watch South Park or something. But
Paramount's my favorite.
yeah, so I don't have an active subscription right now, but I did for a time. I also subscribe to Sling sometimes. That gives me live TV.
Yes.
Sling is nice, but not lately. But yeah, Netflix
Yeah.
is our go-to. We've never not had Netflix, and same thing with Apple TV Plus. That's a go-to, and Disney Plus is my favorite actually.
Really? Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I'm happy to have Disney Plus. You know, I have a 5-year-old, and it's allowed me to watch the Star Wars. So
Well, I bet. Well, Disney Plus is coming in handy then if you have a 5-year-old. For the fiance and I, we love to go back and watch all the old. And that's what we've been doing. We love to go back and watch all the old Disney animated classics. So we've watched Beauty and the Beast. We've watched Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, like all these movies. Little
let me tell you
Mermaid
my
we just
Beauty
saw
and the Beast
recently.
story.
Oh, you got a Beauty and the Beast story.
I do. I guess that movie came out, what, 93, 94, something like that. And yeah, it came out. And the Christmas that year, I was 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. Christmas came. And oh my God, Christmas is such a big holiday for a child. I loved it. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It is Christmas morning. It's cold, but you're not thinking about the cold because it's time to open up presents. I don't know why I just said that. So boom, I go to the Christmas tree and I just pick up the first gift I see. And my mom's waiting there. She's got the camera out, and I just start fucking ripping it open. And it's Beauty and the Beast. And I know, even as a 5-year-old boy, that's not a boy's gift.
That's not a boy's gift. Beauty of the Beast is for Beauty of the Beast is for everybody, man. What the fuck are you talking about?
I know that now, but it's at that
I could
time
definitely
where
see how being a kid, being a boy, and getting that, you're just like, what is this? I could
I was
see
very confused because they had told me for a long time I was a boy. You're a boy, you're a boy. And then, then I get this girl's gift. And so I slowly looked at my mom and she said, this is one of the first times she ever yelled at me too. She was like, now, God damn it, you need to start reading who it's for. And it was for her. That was her gift.
Oh, was it really?
It was. It
That's
said to
a
Mom from
shame.
Santa.
To Mom from Santa. Did she buy herself that? What the fuck?
Yeah.
That reminds me of a story around Christmas time when my dad, God bless him, he was never around that much for us because I think in a previous episode last season we talked about alcoholism and my dad was an alcoholic and stuff like that. So he was never really around a lot. Like he would come around and pick us up for a weekend or something, and then it would be many months before we saw him again. But I still love my dad and all that. But so the point of what I was trying to make is that he wasn't the best at being a dad. He didn't really know how to be a dad per se. He's a good guy and tried his best. But one time for Christmas one year, I don't even know how old I was, 8, 9, 10. he comes over to my grandmother's house and he says, "Oh, I wanted to bring over your Christmas gift." And, I'm excited because, obviously, like you said, Christmas is a very exciting time. Love presents, that kind of stuff. And he pulls out a package, obviously wrapped fairly nicely. And I go to open it, rip it apart and all that. And it is a Ken doll. A Ken doll. Like Barbie's boyfriend, Ken.
Yeah, that's definitely what the fuck.
So he thought because it's a guy that's for boys. Like, it's a guy doll, so it's for boys. And he thought the Barbie was for girls. Well, turns out Barbie and all of her friends and accessories are for girls. I mean, well, actually, you know what? If you like Barbies and you're a kid, that's boy. That's your boy. That's fine. That's for
What'd
you.
you
That's
say
cool.
to him?
It wasn't for me though. I remember I'm the kind of person where I'm not going to be honest and be like, oh, well, I don't like this. Like, I would rather tell you, oh, thank you so much. I really like it. I just want to just make you feel good about giving me the gift, even if I fucking hate it. So I'll just say, oh, I think I said something like, oh, thank you very much. It's really nice for you to think of me. I don't think I ever even opened it. I think I ended up selling it or something, or returning it, or I don't know what I did. I damn sure didn't play with it. I know that much. But
I
my
hate to
poor
say
dad,
it, but
he was trying.
No,
He
yeah,
tried.
you know what?
He thought he thought he probably bought something good. He had no clue what to pick out. He saw that on the shelf and he went for it. And that was just not the gift.
Similar story. It kind of goes with your mentality too, with what you just said. Christmas, my dad, this is after the divorce and all that. We go over to my dad's apartment to open up his gifts for Christmas. And so on Christmas Eve, we get to open up one gift. Do you have that tradition?
We've gone off and on, like if we've begged for it, but that's not. Usually, it's at the Christmas Eve party that we open up like a gift from one of our aunts or something. But yeah, we've done something similar.
Yeah. Similar. So boom, I get my one gift, and it is a 2-pack wrestling figures. It is Test and Lita. Because we all know, as a longtime wrestling fans, we all remember how connected Test and Lita were.
Oh, super connected.
So I get that from my mom. Boom, I'm over at my dad's, and we're opening up all of my dad's gifts because we're not gonna, I'm not gonna be there for Christmas morning. I'll be at my mom's, so we're opening up all of them. And I open up a 2-pack Test and Lita from my dad.
Test and Lita.
I look at him and I say, "Oh, I got and I wasn't even thinking. I said, "Oh, this is the same gift that I opened up at mom's before we came over." And I just saw.
But you're just a kid. You didn't realize what you'd said.
Yeah, my dad's watching me open it. I say that, and then he goes,
because he probably was so excited. He was just like, "Oh, I picked out a really good one." Like, he likes wrestling, and he was probably feeling confident about it.
But I saw that though. I saw his face change whenever I said that, and I knew. I was like, okay. I have to make up for what I just fucking said. And I said, no. I was like, listen, don't take this back. I'm keeping it. Like, I will make this Test like another wrestler, and I will make this Lita like another wrestler too, maybe from WCW or something like that. It's like, because dude, I've always been creative. I've always loved using my imagination. So I'm like, I mean, this is just giving me an excuse to use my imagination. So in my backyard group, we had this kid named James the Man Norris. So I made the extra Test James the Man Norris in my figure fed. And I think the other Lita, I don't remember what I did with her. But yeah, I fucking played with those toys. So it was cool. It worked out.
It was cool. And you just want to make your dad feel good also at the same time. Because you realize that
he was very much so my hero. I didn't want to fucking make him feel bad.
Well, that's why, like, even though my dad wasn't like the perfect dad or anything, but I still respected him, still do, and didn't want to make him feel bad. Like, he got me a gift, so he was trying. It's not like, that's a good thing. He had good intentions. So he just didn't know what kids were really into, and ended up picking the wrong one. But yeah, I just wanted to
Yeah.
make him feel good too. So I understand completely.
The first Christmas after the divorce, my dad came over to we moved out of the family house and we're living in this trailer and everything. I'm 7 or 8 years old. And he comes over to give us our gifts and everything. And I remember my mom saying something like, "Oh, I really hope he got them some clothes because they need like more winter clothes. We really need to kind of stock up on clothes." And and she's raising 2 kids now by herself. It's not like she has a big bank account to be buying clothes and food. So it's like, hopefully he did this. And he comes over and it's this big thing and he starts handing out gifts and stuff like that. Every last fucking gift he got us were toys to play with in the bathtub.
The bathtub, like rubber
She was like,
duckies
"Oh,
and
great."
shit.
Like most of the gifts that she got us that year was, clothes and, not fun things. So she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, great. He's the fucking fun parent."
Yeah, nobody likes being the non-fun parent. That's for sure. This
Yeah.
whole conversation just kind of made me think that we should do a Christmas-themed episode in December. I think that we could discuss. It could be a multi-segment show. One of the segments could easily be our favorite Christmas songs. It could be favorite Christmas foods, favorite Christmas movies, and then the fourth one would be favorite Christmas memories. I think we could easily fill a show
I love that. I love that
with
because
Christmas-themed
not
stuff.
very many people say this, but my favorite holiday is Christmas. So
I love Christmas. Yeah, it's a very magical time. So I'd love to be able to share those memories and just different things, and I think it'll be a fun episode.
I can't fucking stand people who are like, "Oh, I just fucking hate Christmas," because I'm like, I hate you.
Who hates Christmas? I don't understand.
Yeah, you have to be a real piece of shit to hate Christmas.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now
La-
I remember being really disappointed when I found out Santa wasn't real. Like, I
Really?
mean, really disappointed. Yeah, because I was really bought into the Santa Claus business. Like I just was really. I would write letters to Santa, and have them get put in the mail, and then I would actually get a letter back from Santa. So like I'm sure it was one of those like mail services that you do, but
So I'm talking
Santa
to a
Claus.
true believer.
I was a true believer. You never believed? Is that what it was? I believe this
Not
fucking dude was
never,
real. But I would
never.
like rack my brain because I was always a logical kid. I'm still a logical person now. So I would try to rack my brain like, okay, how does this one dude visit all these houses? Like I would just be trying to map this out in my head and plan it out. Like, is it even possible? But yeah, one day I remember coming down. I heard some noise or something, and I remember coming downstairs and I saw my mom like wrapping a present or something, and I just remember saying, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "Oh no, go upstairs, go upstairs." I'm just like, "What's going on?" Like I remember like I was so crushed. Like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, I don't.
And that so
I
you put 2 and 2 together?
Oh, it didn't take long. Yeah, I was just like, this is not real. It's them.
You're like, "It's just
And then
like
every year,
wrestling. It's
every
fake."
year after that, I would just, I'd be opening up a gift. Oh, to Michael from Santa. Wink, wink. From Santa. Oh,
That
another
is
one
good
from
shit.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm gonna stop telling Christmas stories because that's actually the last episode that we do this year will be the Christmas episode. So
Ended on a really positive note.
yeah, we'll do that. Um,
I like
yeah,
it. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot that we can honestly go back. We've been on this earth over 30 years each. So I feel like there's lots of family stories or personal stories. It doesn't have to have taken place on Christmas Day. It could be just, around Christmas, that type of stuff. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A lot of really personal stuff just came to mind, but I'm not going to say it right now. I'll wait for the episode. Cool.
yeah, that
I'm
should be a
down.
fun one.
Thanksgiving's around the corner. Are you the kind of guy who's already got your Thanksgiving plans?
I do. Yeah. So we're going over to my grandmother's house. She's making a big dinner, and Kristen and I are going to be bringing the homemade mashed potatoes, the green beans, and homemade cranberry sauce.
3 dishes you're bringing.
We're bringing 3 dishes to this dinner.
So like
And the
nobody's
green
really
beans
going?
and the green. Oh no. The immediate family's going. But,
Is that a good bit of people?
Yeah, so it's gonna be my mom, stepdad, probably one of my aunts, all my brothers, and I have 4 brothers, so that's a lot of us.
So
And their
is
significant
everybody
others,
bringing
they
3
all
dishes?
have girlfriends. No. I think my grandmother's making everything except for our 3 dishes. My grandmother was actually surprised we offered to bring anything. I guess nobody ever really does offer to bring anything, but yeah, we offered because I'm really good at making from scratch mashed potatoes, and I do green beans with fresh, the long green beans, with garlic and herbs and stuff.
Are you a good cook?
I wouldn't say in general because it's not like I can go into the kitchen and whip you up anything. You just toss 3 ingredients in front of me and I'd be able to whip it up.
What is your signature dish?
It's weird, but it's green beans. And you might say, what a boring fucking dish. But I can make it tastes good, smells good, looks good, side dish of green beans. So I'm very proud of it. It's a very simple dish. But if I was going I'm very good with mashed potatoes though. So that's why I'm doing those.
You may be surprised by my special dish. Have you ever heard of grilled cheese?
I've heard of it. Yes. I may have partaken and said cheese that is grilled.
No, that was a joke. My dish is a barbecue burger.
Oh, that sounds good. What do you put on that?
It's actually very good. It's barbecue burger. It's self-explanatory. What I'd like to do is
self-explanatory. If it was self-explanatory, I wouldn't be asking you, son of a bitch.
Barbecue sauce, going kind of with the raw hamburger meat, and you just kind of mix everything together and then cook the shit. It's not hard. I'm a very simple man.
Yeah, well, man, me too. I don't cook very much. Mashed potatoes, green beans, and probably a couple other things, and that's it. I'm good at making stir fry vegetables and chicken too, if you want to put chicken in it. But really good at making stir fry.
Nice. I like a good shrimp stir fry.
But like, I can't cook anything complex. I'm not like a chef who could just whip up, like couldn't do like 10 ingredients and just start making something. I wish I could. I want to learn to cook that well, but I just don't know how to.
It's definitely a good skill. Now, is the fiance, is she a good cook?
She's a much better cook than me, and she's also a good baker. So that comes in handy for sure. Very good baker.
Very nice. So is there anything you want to talk about before we end the show?
There actually was, and I had forgotten about it entirely. So it's not going to come to me now that I'm actually wanting to talk about it. So
here's where I think we're going to see CM Punk next. Here's where I think.
I think nowhere.
No, this is going to be big. This is a big one, actually. Not WWE. It's not an AEW return. He's going to be one of the next people to fight Jake Paul in a boxing ring.
I could see that. Wait,
he's going to get
I could see it. He would get massacred, yeah. Well, Punk's not a boxer, so why would he even sign up for that?
He wasn't an MMA fighter. Why did he sign up for that?
Yeah, fair point.
I liked what Joe Rogan said about CM Punk. He was like, he's just untalented, period.
He's just untalented. I wouldn't say
Yeah,
untalented.
well, you have to have some kind of talent to be in MMA to be. I mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't fast, he wasn't flexible, like nothing. He had nothing.
What about you, by the way? You never mentioned what you're doing. You going anywhere for Thanksgiving, or do you have Thanksgiving there? Yeah.
I figure out what's happening for Thanksgiving about the day before, maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just go with the flow, whatever the fiance says that you're doing, you're doing.
Well, I think that my family does. They make the plans and everything, but I just don't think about it until it's the day before.
You just show up. You just show up where you're supposed to. You just show up where you're supposed to and eat what they put in front of you.
Now, I am looking forward to my mom's baked mac and cheese. That is the fucking dish every year.
Oh yeah, that's her signature.
Oh yeah, and if there's not that, I don't go.
You don't go
because that's disrespectful to the family, you know, because they know that that's what you do, and if you don't do it, then fuck you.
I'm looking forward to the Thanksgiving turkey dinner this year. It'll be the first dinner that I'm actually going to get to spend with my family because, it's our first year being in Ohio after a long time. So since 2015 was the last time I lived in Ohio. So, yeah, first Thanksgiving in a long time. Because I've been doing Thanksgivings in Chicago. Nothing really. It used to be, they don't do it anymore, but because they would open up Black Friday shopping early and it would be open, basically right after Thanksgiving dinner. So the thing that we used to do is we would eat dinner and then go shopping. But I'm actually really glad they closed the stores. All the stores are going to be closed on Thanksgiving. That's the way it should be. But that was one thing we would always rush to do.
I think it was 2010, and I was working at Walmart, and I'd only been working there maybe a month, and then Black Friday came. And, it's a fucking event for Walmart. This is like game day. Everybody's got to be on their shit. And there was I'm just going off memory. There was 20 different locations where they're like, okay, in this location, we're going to be selling the 50-inch TVs. But in this location, we're going to be selling the PlayStation bundle. This location, this location, this location. So, they have a big crew, a lot of workers on Black Friday. So they're kind of designating you, all right, this team will go here, this team goes here. At this time, that's when that sale is, yada, yada, yada. At this time, my job, what they hired me as, is a door greeter. That's what I am. And so, and I've only been there less than a month. So my manager comes up to me and they're like, Travis, this is the spot you'll be at. It's TVs. So apparently I'm working from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m., right? 12-hour shift. Most of the time I'm doing 8s, right? So it's a special night, 12-hour shift. She's like, since you haven't been here that long and everything, just make sure you're at the location whenever it starts. But before then, just kind of help out just see who needs help, yada, yada, yada. I was like, oh, okay. So you're telling me that nobody's keeping tabs on me. Okay. So I will make sure I'm at your location when you want me to. But before and after, fuck you. I literally spent 10 hours in the smoke break room.
Jeez. They don't keep track.
They needed help so bad at some points too. I heard the walkie-talkies going off like, there's somebody trying to tackle somebody. And I'm like,
I remember Walmart. I worked at Walmart too, Did you know that?
I knew that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I worked there twice actually. Worked there for
let me guess, you were in electronics?
No, I would have loved to have worked in electronics. My first time I was a cart pusher. So dude, that job sucked.
Dodge that bullet.
That is the lowest position in the store. Maybe janitor's lower. Maybe janitor's lower
Door,
because they make that.
as far as physicality, as far as like doing dog shit work, yeah, I would say so.
Well, in our store, I meant just and also being treated the worst and given the worst jobs. Like, so the janitor was just like given the, I mean, that's what his job is to is to clean stuff, but he was just given the dumbest jobs. Like, the people just didn't want to do. And same thing for me as a stockman doing the carts. That's what I was called. Was a stockman, even though I wasn't stocking shit. I was just getting carts from the parking lot. Which they would only have sometimes one person working at a time. And there's so many people coming into Walmart, I couldn't get enough carts to replenish the carts people were taking. So it was a very stressful job. It was actually very stressful. I lost some weight on that job, though. I lost like 40, 50 pounds.
How could you not?
Job. I mean, yeah, because unlike some places, we didn't have a motorized cart pusher. We had to do it all by hand.
Oh, yeah, back in the day.
And I like to show off because I was in my young 20s or maybe even late teens, I forget, but very young and wanted to prove how strong I was. So you're only allowed to push 10 carts at a time, but I would be pushing 20 at a time just to show how strong I was. And would be maneuvering, and a few times I would hit a car, unfortunately.
I was just about to say that sounds very unsafe. How are you going to stop that?
It is unsafe, and I was talked about it several times. And I said, you want me to bring enough carts in for people to take, but you only want me to take in 10 at a time. Like more than 10 people were fucking walking in when I'm walking in. So they're taking them faster than I can bring them. So sometimes I felt like I had no choice, and then the second time I worked at Walmart, I was stocking the grocery department.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I eventually did. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
here's
it was interesting.
my last Walmart story. So they hired me as a door greeter, but eventually they'd be like, "Oh, there hasn't been too many people coming in. We're gonna take you off the door just for a little while and have you stock because we need some help stocking tonight." I was like, "Okay," and that turned into an every night thing. So essentially, I'm getting door greeter pay, whereas the stockers are making 40 cents more on the hour. And once I got privy to that, I was like, well, if they try to get me for productivity, I'm not supposed to be doing this job anyway. So I'm fucking off from this point forward.
Walmart didn't check from what I remember. They were very lenient. I remember like my go-to was the bathroom. Like I would just, fuck around in the stall, like, look on Facebook or something. And then leave like 15, 20 minutes later as if I was taking like a long shit or something. But like, what are they gonna say? Oh, you were in there too long. I'm like, I really had some explosive diarrhea today, sir.
They're like, every night, Mike.
Every
this isn't the first time you've done this.
You know what I thought was cool though at Walmart is when they would call anyone who could wanted to volunteer to help in the back unload the trucks. So I thought unloading the truck was kind of cool.
I never did that. That looked like hard work, so I never did that.
it was kind of hard work, but it was fun.
They asked me if I was interested once, and I said no. But here's the story I was getting to. So I had worked night shift. My shift starts at 10 p.m. And I was hanging out with some friends. These two girls I used to run with, and it was like 6 o'clock. And we were just driving around and everything. And I was like, hey, you guys got to make sure that, you take me to work at 10 o'clock. I didn't drive at the time, just making sure they know I have work at 10. And it's like 6 o'clock. And they were just driving around and they said, hey, have you ever done acid before? And I was like, excuse me? No, never. They were like, would you like to? I was like, with you guys? They were like, yeah, right now. I was like, well, how long does it last? I was like, because I have work at 10. And they were like, oh, you'll be fine by 10, probably. I was like, oh, well, then let's do it. I don't know how much you know about acid, Mike. That's about a 12-hour high.
A 12-hour high.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
So, boop, I do it. And
do you, real quick, before you get into that, I want to know, did you have like any second thoughts? Are you just the kind of person who's like, fuck it, I'll try it? Or did you think about it for a second? Like what?
21 years old, young, free. You're hanging out with your friends. We're in the beautiful mountains, the countryside, and you're offered, and it's summer. It's summer. You're living your life, man. This sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Boom.
But not so much.
I do it. And 10 o'clock comes. They're like, all right, we're taking you to work. And I had just spent the last about 3 hours laying on the roof of a house with them, just staring at the clouds for
Was that a nice high?
Yeah. It was, dare I say, it was great. But now one thing about acid is that you shouldn't get paranoid because you'll kind of really dive into paranoia if you even let a little bit of it in.
I would
There's no
probably be a
letting
bad
it-
candidate for acid then.
Yeah, definitely. You have to be a very happy person. You have to be nothing really major going on in your life. So anyway, now I'm at work. I make my way through the whole, because before you start your shift, you have to go to the very back of the building to the meeting area. And so boom, I do that much. I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm composing myself pretty good. I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm rolling, everything is moving. And which is essentially what happens on acid. Also, you're sweating profusely as well.
Profusely.
So I'm sweating a good bit too. And
Is it an intense feeling?
it's like a mild intense.
How does it compare to the high from smoking pot?
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's
not the same.
Definitely altered perception, altered reality for sure. They tell me what I'm doing that night. I am a stalker at this point because eventually after I kept fucking off, they were like, okay, you're not a door greeter anymore. You've been promoted to stalker. This is what you do every night, and you're going to get the extra 40 cents an hour. So I am stalking at this point, and they tell me tonight, Travis will be doing the candy aisle. This person has this aisle. This person has this aisle. Travis has the candy. So boom, I make it all the way back to the candy aisle. So now I'm 4 hours into this high. I am rolling. It is everything's very vivid. I have lost my perception of reality. And I'm now in the candy aisle. I've made it. And and the candy aisle is shared with the spaghetti aisle. So on one side, candy, other side, spaghetti. And I just sit down in the middle of the aisle, Indian style, and I start looking at each different flavor of spaghetti sauce, and it is blowing my mind. Why do we need so many flavors?
Why are there so many damn flavors here?
There should be traditional, and that's it. This one's chive and onion. This one's fucking, and I'm just like, blowing my mind. So, and I'm kind of sitting there for an extended period of time. I get out my phone and I text my friend who's in the dairy cooler. I'm like, Steven, I need help bad. And he texts back. He's like,
and he's the one who gave it to you, right?
No, he has no clue.
Oh, okay,
he texts me back. He's like, what's wrong? Like, I saw you and like, I know that you're at work. Where are you? And I was like, oh, I'm in the spaghetti aisle and I need you to come get me right now. So he walks over and he sees me just sitting there looking at the spaghetti. And he's like, Travis, why are you sitting? And I looked up at him and I was like, I didn't realize I was sitting. So I stand up and I was like, and like my clothes are drenched. I'm sweating so bad. He's like, come to the dairy cooler with me. The rest of the shift, I just went into the dairy cooler and just let that cool air hit me the rest of the shift. And I just chilled in there. I didn't do any of my job that night.
And they didn't give a shit. Do you remember?
I've always wondered about that. They never noticed.
Interesting.
They never said
I mean,
anything to
Walmart's
me.
a big company, so it's easy to miss things.
Yeah, slip through the cracks. Yeah.
For sure.
And
Yeah,
I want to say this as well, since we're talking about it. Anybody out there who is interested in maybe trying acid, I wouldn't suggest it.
You would not suggest it.
No. I think that marijuana is the way to go. If you would like to get off of planet Earth for a moment, maybe alter your reality, that is the safest way to do it.
Yeah.
Last story. Since we're talking about
You
acid.
definitely made acid somewhat intriguing, though.
Well, here's the last time I ever did acid, and you will figure out why I'll never do it again.
Right.
In 2014, my grandma died. It was the only grandparent I really ever had. It was devastating to me, and I didn't really handle it that well. I was working at FedEx, and I learned of this really young guy. He had just graduated high school and got a job at FedEx, and I had learned that he had into acid, and I had done it years before. And I don't know, I was very hurt, and I missed my grandma a lot, and I just wasn't thinking right. And also, I had a drinking problem at the time too. So it's kind of like pick your poison, you know? I asked him, I was like, hey man, do you think, I heard that you dealt that. Do you think we could meet up after work one day and I can get some off you? He was like, okay. So boom, I got some, and I started doing it regularly for about a month.
And what's regularly to you?
Not every day. I would say about 3 times a week for about a month.
Okay.
And at the very last time I did it, I'd been doing it for a month, and I got my paycheck, which was an actual physical paycheck that I would take to Walmart, which I lived about 2 miles away from Walmart. And I would cash it every Saturday morning. I would cash it. And boom, I did acid. I'm ready for the whole, being high the whole day. And I really like playing Skyrim while I was high on acid. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I take the tablet, but I don't feel it. I'm not getting high. And I'm kind of like thinking, okay, I've done it enough to this point where it's not really affecting me anymore. I look at my paycheck and I'm like, oh, since it's not affecting me, I could easily go cash my check and come back home. No problem. So I grab my check, walk out of my mom's trailer, get in my car. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm good. Start the car, roll the windows down, take a big deep breath. I'm like, yeah, I think I can. I've never driven on this stuff, but I'm fine. I don't feel it at all. I'm fine. I back out of the parking spot. I'm now making my way through the neighborhood. It's about 5-10 mile per hour through the neighborhood. The road outside of the neighborhood is a main road. It's a 45-mile-an-hour road. I make it through the whole neighborhood, and I'm right about to go onto the 45-mile-an-hour road. Another big deep breath. I'm fine. I can go to Walmart and cash my check and come home. I'm fine.
Easy.
Not even high right now. I get onto the road and vocally, I'm accelerating. I'm getting up to 45 miles per hour. Vocally, I'm the only one in the car. I say, this was a bad idea because I'm rolling. Everything's like this. Now I'm driving fast. not safe. Any thoughts right now?
I just sounds like a scary situation.
It is. It's so scary. And I make it all the way to Walmart. I mean, and time has stopped. Like I'm going 45 miles an hour. I look down at the miles per hour gauge. It says 45, but I'm going this fast. And I finally make it to Walmart. It feels like
Do you think
forever.
acid makes you a better driver or a worse driver?
Terrible. I would not suggest anybody to do this. Terrible. I I pull into the parking spot at Walmart. I put the car in park and I feel this big sense of relief. And I was like, "Oh my God, Travis, you made it to Walmart. Thank God." I grab my check and I get out of the car. Now I'm walking. I went from sitting, which is kind of letting everything settle, to once you go back to standing, everything's kind of you're back in it.
You're back in it. You're back in the
Everybody,
game.
I walk into Walmart that no, I haven't worked there in years at this point, but there's somebody who works in the produce section that knows me. I talk to him every time I cash my check. I walk through the front doors and I'm thinking, okay, head down, stare at the ground, just get straight to the cashier where you cash your check, cash that shit, get back to the car. Just boom, boom. I walk in through the front doors. I hear somebody from way across Walmart go, "Travis, what's up, man?" And I was like, I'm so fucking high. I look up, dead at him, and I go, "I'm very sick right now. I can't talk." And I just keep walking.
I'm very sick right now.
And I never do that. I get to the cashier. I see this lady every week. I cash my check every week. I'm staring at the ground. I just kind of fucking hand it to her. She's like, "Oh, hey, nice to see you." And I'm just like, "Yeah, nice to see you." Mm-hmm. And
You're
cashes the
just doing
check,
your best to pretend to be sober.
holding it together. I'm like, I shouldn't have came out here. Like this was a bad fucking idea. I shouldn't have done this.
But you'd already committed once you were driving in the car. It was a bit too late to go back.
It was. I mean, I guess I could have pulled around in like a parking spot and went back to my mom's trailer. But either way, I cash the check. I get all the way back out to the car. I drive back home. No problem getting home. And yeah, that piqued my anxiety so bad and that rattled me so bad that I decided that was the last time I was going to do it. And that's the last time I ever did it.
So you've done it multiple times. Did you say over a
Maybe
dozen?
20 times.
Jeez, maybe 20 times. Is acid
My
expensive?
No, it was like $5 a pop, which is not
See,
bad.
there's some people out there who have the opinion that everyone should experience acid to truly unlock the deepest portions of your brain or whatever. That there's people that believe that. What do you say to
Well,
that?
okay, I'll tell you this much. During that month, at one point, one of my very, very good close personal friends, he asked me to house sit for him and watch his dog because him and his girlfriend were going to the beach that weekend. And I said, of course, I will house sit. I will take care of your dog, feed your dog, let him out, yada, yada, yada. So I did that. But I also did that while I was at his house, while I had his whole house to myself. And that was very cool.
You enjoyed that experience.
Yeah, because his dog was this beagle and very chill dog. And I lived at home with my mom at the time. So it's like nobody I knew was, and my mom wasn't there, it was just me. So I got to really like enjoy it, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So you think I should try it?
Yeah.
You absolutely. Why? Why me?
If you really struggle with anxiety on a daily basis, no, probably not.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've unlocked some? Do you understand the world in a different way? Like, did it do anything? Like, those are the cliche things that people say acid does. Is, oh, you see the whole world the whole different way, man. Uh, what's your experience with it?
Well, what really fucked me up is that I guess I didn't. Well, yeah, playing Skyrim. I was playing Skyrim for the first time, and uh, I came into this part where like the local villagers, like I'm rolling on acid. The local villagers walk up to my character and they're like, "Yo, fucking Jimmy saw a dragon." Like there was like some talks of a dragon that was nearby, and I hadn't seen a dragon yet in the game. And just mentioning a dragon, I had to pause the game and walk away.
That's crazy. I just lost my camera, by the way. I don't know what
Yeah, I
happened.
noticed that. But shit. Okay. So right here's the perfect example. Somebody like if you're in a bad place in your life, do not do this drug. Do not do this drug. My best friend was facing, I'm not gonna say what he did, but he was facing some serious fucking charges, and he was about to go to prison for a while. And he want me and him was hanging out, and I told him, I was like, I have a hookup for acid if you want to do that with me. And one of the nights I was dog sitting, he came over and we dropped acid, and he knew he was about to go to prison for a while. And so mentally, that's not a place you should be if you're going to be dropping acid. And do I still got you?
Yeah, yeah, still here.
So he was like, yeah, let's do it. And I said, okay. I pulled out my phone. I was like, okay, I'm going to hit up the guy. He's going to bring it here. Are you sure? You need to promise me that you're cool and you're in a good place and we can do this tonight. He said, dude, I'm ready to have a great night. We're good. I was like, okay. Called the guy. The guy starts heading there. And then he texts me, about 2 minutes away from your location. I looked at my friend. I was like, dude, 2 minutes away. He's almost here. Are you sure you're good? He said, dude, fucking, I'm so excited. Let's do this. Dealer gets there. I walk outside. We do the exchange. I come back inside. And I said, look, dude, I have it in my hand right now. You promised me one more time, dude. You're good. He said, let's do this.
Let's do this.
We both drop acid. The first, like I told you, this is about a 12-hour journey. The first about 3 hours is great. We're laughing. We're just like running around this house that we have complete free range of. But then we get to a point of the night where we're both sitting on the couch. TV's not on or nothing. We're watching the shadows from the ceiling fan. We're just watching the shadows from the ceiling fan. This is how fucked up you get. And he looks over at me and he goes, I don't know what to do. I said, what do you mean? He was like, I just don't know what to do. I was like, do you mean like now? He's like, could you tell me what I should do? Because he's like, I don't know what to do. I was like, dude, you're not making a lot of sense right now. Like, what do you mean? He's like, and he starts like getting personal with me. He's like, Travis, you seem like you always have a fucking answer for everything. Tell me what I should do.
Jesus.
And then it's like the feeling in the room that he's feeling, I start feeling it. Like I feel it in like on my skin. Like the time is getting
contagious.
Bad. It's turning into a bad time. And I was like, dude, how about this? Like, we went to Walmart earlier and got some pizzas. Do you want me to make those pizzas now? And I look over him. He looks sad as shit. And he's like, just do whatever you want to, man. He was like, I don't care. And I was like, oh, shit. So I made the pizzas.
Jeez. Did the pizzas cheer him up at all?
No.
Just he was having a bad trip.
Yeah. Yeah. He was having a horrible trip at this point. And I was, at that point, I ate both of the pizzas because he said, I'm not hungry. He's like, I'm good. I'm not hungry. So I ate both of the pizzas. And I was like, all right, man, well, I'm going to go to sleep now. And I just ended the night right there.
Yeah. Jeez. 12 hours. I couldn't imagine. So you're towards the end of it, like, let's say the last 4 hours. Are you coming off of it slowly, or is it like how does it work? Like
about it? Yeah, I think every single time at the end, like after a number of hours, I would just go to sleep, which there was one time I did it as soon as I got off work. My mom would go to work, and I did it while she was like getting ready for work and everything. And I like laid down, like my room was pitch dark, and I laid down in the bed and just to pretend I was sleeping, so I wouldn't have to like talk to her or anything like that while I was so fucked up. And and yeah, I laid there in a pitch dark room for a straight hour and did not feel like there's 0% chance I could have fallen asleep.
that's crazy, man. And you never were scared to try any of that shit?
I didn't view it. Okay, like crack, cocaine, heroin. Never. You would never find me doing, even contemplating something like that. But I guess acid was just different because, first of all, the first time I did it, I was 21 years old, and it was with two very trusted, good, like best friends of mine. And I just don't think that they would have put me in a position, like a fucked up position, where I could like overdose and die on something like that. And it was a low dosage, So since I had that experience, I was, 3 years later is when I did it again, kind of like that 1 month binge there. I think that's why I thought it was okay to kind of do it every other day, every 3 days or so during that period.
Were you functional at that point? Yeah.
Huh?
Were you functional at that point doing it the whole month, or like were you able to do normal things, or?
No, the only time I did it was whenever I knew I was going to be alone for an extended period of time.
And would it just help you relax? You used it to help you relax, or what?
I guess I wanted to go on like a mental adventure. I wasn't very happy with reality. So
Video games weren't an option.
No, it's just different. I wanted to be
Yeah, I know,
completely removed from reality for
I gotcha.
6, 7, 8 hours at a time.
for half the day.
That's why, like, whenever I meet drug addicts or something like that, whenever I'm working in a warehouse and there's somebody there, there's like, oh, I've been off heroin for this long, yada yada yada. It's like I don't get it. I don't completely get it, but for me and my own trials and tribulations, I get a little bit of it. Not like the hardcore thing. Like I don't understand. Like I'm never going to understand completely a heroin addict's point of view. But
Yeah,
from a depression point of view, yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah, because you've kind of seen firsthand some of it, at least.
It'll put you in some desperate situations where you don't really think about the consequences.
Steve Jobs kind of glorified taking or dropping acid when
Oh,
he was
really?
alive.
Was he a big on that?
Yeah, he said that he had done it multiple times when he was, in his 20s and whatnot, and he felt like it helped shape him as a person. So, and he's like, I think everyone should do it at least once. And I'm just like, huh. I don't think I would though. I don't know. I think you had mentioned the paranoia thing, anxiety. I think maybe I have a bit too much of that for me to handle that well.
Well, I'll tell you one more story.
Don't say you could have done
Right
a whole
here's the last
podcast
time.
episode just on acid.
I mean, now there's no point to do it because I just told all these stories.
Yeah, you run through all of
But
them.
so since we're doing it, so we'll keep it all on one episode on YouTube for the after show. The last time I was ever even
I
offered
got
it.
my side camera.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Did your battery run out?
For my main camera, yeah. So I got the laptop camera.
Oh,
Better
you
than
look good,
nothing.
man.
I'll switch myself over here so that I'm looking at you. There we go.
So check this out. Right here's the last time. So the guy I was just talking about, the guy who started having a bad time through it, he ended up going to prison. And then whenever he got out, like I said before, I'm not going to say what his charges were. All of his friends had given up on him, stopped talking to him. But he had been my best friend since I was 12, 13. So I never gave up on him. And before he died, maybe a couple weeks before he died, he came up to me, and my fiance was pregnant with our daughter, like 5 months pregnant with our daughter. He texted me and said, "Dude, are we still hanging out tonight?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I'm home now if you want to go and head over." He was like, "Fuck yeah." He's like, "I got something to show you." And I was like, "Okay, cool." Now it has been 3 years since our I'm having a bad time kind of thing. So it's been a while. It's been 3 years since I've done acid. And he comes over to my home, where I'm currently living at still to this day. And he's like, "Can you step out onto the porch with me?" I was like, "Okay, cool." We step out onto the porch. He pulls out this brown paper bag and he goes, "I got some acid." And I was like, oh.
Oh.
I was like, I'm definitely not in the same place I was. Like, it's like night and day in compare. It's like depression has nothing on me at this time. Anxiety, nothing on me at this time. I'm literally having the best time of my life at this time. No sadness at all. It's probably perfect opportunity to do this drug. But anyway,
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, man, I was like, I got work tomorrow. Like in my head, I'm like, fuck no. But he's my friend. So I'm like, oh, I got work tomorrow. I can't do that. He was like, do you mind if I do it? I was like, no, go ahead, dude. By all means. So, and it's acid in sugar cubes.
Interesting.
He takes like 3. Like,
wow.
I was like, oh, Jesus.
Dude, were you that ambitious?
But yeah, we ended up. One of my fiance's coworker friends ended up coming over that night, and we played a board game or something like that. And he had a great time. He was laughing and doing all this stuff. I should have taken that as a sign that he was going through something. But after he got out of prison, he was going through something after that. His time in prison wasn't the best. So he was kind of on the road that it was going to have to be something fucking amazing to take him off of that road. Because shortly after he was dead.
Crazy. Well, don't do drugs, kids.
No, definitely wouldn't do that.
That's crazy. This after show is mostly about acid. And we filled up a good
Yeah.
amount of there's some good stories and everything. Yeah. But
Yeah,
I'm always curious about it.
I really don't mind talking about it because the things that are taboo in this life and the things that you shouldn't talk about and stuff like that, I don't mind talking about them because there might be somebody out there right now who's struggling with, maybe they're doing acid right now and they're trying to figure out, like, fuck, how do
Maybe they're
I?
listening to this and doing acid.
There's just so many people struggling, and I wish I could help them all, but you can't. And maybe with my podcast, maybe with another one of my ventures, I can help somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
Did I help you tonight?
Hopefully it does. You did. I'm going to go try acid after this. I'm going to go do some drugs.
That's a good PSA, though.
What do you got? What's that Dewey Cox story? You seen that movie?
Yeah.
He busts the guys smoking reefer.
It turns all your bad feelings into good feelings. It's a nightmare.
It sounds expensive.
It's
the cheapest drug there is. Well, but I don't want to get addicted to it. It's not habit forming.
It ain't gonna make me want to have sex. It makes sex even better.
I think I'm gonna want to try that.
Oh man, I want to watch that movie again. Yeah,
well, I've been wanting to watch it.
Honestly, it's in my probably my top 5 movies ever made.
Yeah, it's hilarious for sure. But
it sounds like
I gotta run.
I got to get my daughter to bed.
Yeah, I got stuff to take care of as well. Mainly switching out the battery in my weed pan.
Oh my God. Are you able to send one of those in the mail?
I could for a fee.
Is that legal?
No, it's 1000% not. Oh wait, this?
Yeah.
It's legal in the state of Illinois.
Okay. Yeah. Not in Ohio?
Not yet. Medically, it is, I think. But I'm not a medical card holder.
Reminder, guys, because I see that we still got some people hanging on with us. Next week we have Tate Griffin. Please tune in 7 p.m. Eastern. Tune in a little bit earlier for the pre-show.
Heck yeah.
But I'm going to end the broadcast now.
Do it. End it. Do it.